making us part of your day. Special guest, he's Jerome Gales, former Ramapo Griffin class of 97, former National Guard, correction officer, Johnson Wales, now entrepreneur, joining us on the program. Jerome, it's been a while. How have you been? I haven't seen you since high school. Welcome to the show.
What's up, bro? Thank you for having me, man. I appreciate it.
For sure,
I've been
man.
good.
You've been good watching the Knicks do their thing.
Yeah, they on right now, bro. You probably can see them in my glasses.
So let me get this straight. So, you were born and raised in Spring Valley, right? Nyack, right? And then you moved, you thought you were from Cali, right? Since you visited Cali so often as a kid, your mom, sister lived out there. Which part of Cali was it? You remember anything about Cali back in the day, going there?
Yeah, man. They still live in the same town.
Same
It's
town.
called Vacaville. If you're from out there, I think you pronounce it a little bit differently, but
Okay.
it's Vacaville. It's 30 minutes south of Sacramento
Okay.
and an hour north of San Francisco.
Oh, okay. Very cool, man. What time of the year you used to go up there? Was it summertime, wintertime? What kind of time you went up there?
As a kid, it was always summertime.
Always summer during the school.
Always
Okay.
summer. And I was going out there, shit, man. Since I was like, I have early pictures of me as a baby, and
Right.
then like from my memory, the earliest times probably like 7, 8. I can remember.
7, 8.
I remember flying out there one time by myself on a flight, which is
Jeez.
absolutely unheard of nowadays.
Because you're not a big fan of flying now these days, right?
Bro, I'm scared as hell to get on a flight right now. I ain't even gonna lie to you. Like I haven't. I mean,
How could you not
I'm
be,
gonna,
right?
huh?
How could you not be? Everything going on right now.
Bro, I mean, it's slowed down. You haven't heard as much about anything happening recently. So hopefully by the time I decide to fly again, it'll be in the back of the mind. But I know once it's time to get on the flight, I'm gonna be like
Yeah.
not feeling it again. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Yeah.
and I used to love flying, bro. Like no problem. Didn't even think twice about flying.
Yeah. Yeah. Now you got to worry about so many things now these
Like
days,
getting
right?
on a roller coaster now, bro.
Yeah. When was the last time you were to Cali? When's the last time you visited Cali? Last time you were.
I was out there. Phew, so probably 2 years ago. It's probably
Okay.
approaching 2 years.
Okay.
So remember when Daniel Jones got hurt?
Right. I remember that. Yeah.
He got hurt in Vegas,
Yes. Raiders.
and
Okay.
I went to that game.
Okay.
And when I was in Vegas, I drove to Cali. I
Four
met.
hours.
Nah, it's a little bit.
A little more up north, right? Sacramento's a little more up north.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's
So
9 hours. So
okay.
if you like LA area,
Right.
LA, San Diego, all that is like 5 hours, four and a half, 5 hours to Vegas. But up
Right.
north, it took me 9 hours. I did something stupid. Like I booked the trip, and then I thought because my grandmother she lives out there with my aunt, and she's 90. She turned 91 this past February, and I was like, "Yo, man, I feel horrible if I'm all the way on the West Coast and I don't go see my fam." You know what I'm saying? Especially my
Yeah.
grandmother just being getting older.
Right.
So me and my shorty, like, we had already rented a truck, and he was like, "Yo, as soon as we landed,
Let's do it.
got the truck, boom, went out there, stayed a day and a night, then
Right.
came back to Vegas." So whenever that game was, when he got that knee injury, that was I believe that was the last time I was out
Last
there.
time you were out there. What's your thoughts on that stadium, Raider Stadium? Beautiful stadium. You like it out there?
Awesome.
Yeah.
Stadium is dope. I
Yeah.
don't know why the Giants didn't do a dome.
Yeah. A lot of New York teams. Mets don't have a dome. Yankees don't have a dome. Giants, cold arena,
Bro,
cold weather. You got to put a dome
New
on
York
there.
City, you could get the Super Bowl. Like Indianapolis gets the Super Bowl. It's a
Yeah.
cold weather city.
You got once you got a dome, you're good. You're straight.
Yeah, New York City getting the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Like some of these people, man, they just don't think. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
I don't
crazy.
get it, bro. Like, you can't tell me it's because of the weather and the weathering of the stadium because Minnesota,
Yeah.
Detroit, you know what I'm saying? They both got domes. Those are cold weather cities.
Yeah. Once you get a dome, you're in there.
So what do we know?
Thoughts on Cali on the devastating wildfires? How sad were you to see that happening out there?
Man, it's different. See, I don't want to say I was fortunate enough, but I kind of was fortunate enough to get to see the devastation firsthand one year because my cousin he lives in San Diego, and
Yeah.
I visited him back in 2000, and it was just shortly after some wildfires had come through, and he showed me around, man, and just seeing the devastation from fires, it's like,
It's another level, right?
yeah, it's another level, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
Funny fun fact. So when I went out there, Phil Bogle was still playing for the Chargers. You know Phil
Phil, I
from
know
Spring
Phil. Yeah.
High
Yeah.
School.
Yeah.
He was still on the Charger squad. I didn't get to go to a game because it was in December too, and I
Okay.
didn't get to go to a game only because they were away.
Oh, an
I
away game.
remember like it was yesterday. They were flying away. They were going to Detroit.
Okay.
They were going to, so we hung out. You know what I'm saying, for one night.
Right.
I hung out with him and this lineman. His name was Courtney Van Buren, and the linebacker Stephen Cooper.
Okay.
But yeah, no, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, the old
It was just funny.
Qualcomm Stadium. Old
He
Qualcomm
was just
Stadium. Yeah.
Qualcomm Stadium. It was still Qualcomm at that
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Sure was.
Yeah.
Sure was.
That goes. San Diego's beautiful out there. If you get a chance to go to San Diego's beautiful.
No, San Diego is beautiful. Even in December, man, like,
yeah,
you couldn't chill on the beach, but you could walk. You know what I'm saying?
Walk on the beach. Yeah.
You didn't want to be out there. It wasn't hot like you was gonna, get in the water or anything, but
Right.
it still was nice weather to where it wasn't freezing.
Right.
Like it's just even kill weather in the middle of December, and I was like, wow, this is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And it was probably just that day that nobody was at the beach because it was probably just cold that day. I think I was there like 5 days.
Yeah. Well, you're at NC now. Would you ever consider moving out there, Cali, or you're good where you're at on the East Coast?
I would, but my kids are on the East Coast, so like my son's in Philly. My daughter, she lives down here. She's finishing up high school. She's a sophomore.
Right.
And then I'm engaged, so my shorty's here. She ain't going nowhere. She's from North Carolina.
Right. She's like, yeah, we're good. We'll stay out here. We're good.
Ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, we'll deal
So,
with it.
but if I didn't have no situations, like I love Cali, man. I love it.
Yeah.
One of my favorite places to go.
For sure. West Coast. So now you lived on the hill, right? What was that experience like? Craziest thing you saw up there? Was it like a survival of the fittest mentality up there?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. That's a good way to put it. Survival of the fittest. I mean, listen. Anywhere you go, I mean,
it's never good, right? Yeah.
Yeah, you got your good and your bad. I mean, I'll start off with some of the good, man. The good is the camaraderie, the friendships you make. Like a lot of people like grow up, you live in like a neighborhood.
Yeah.
Like, bro, like it was never a dull moment as a kid. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially summertime. Like, bro, it was rare that you go outside and nobody's outside.
Yeah.
You go outside, people playing tag, people double
activities.
Yeah. Like, it's always something going on, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And like, I got so many different relationships with different people that we necessarily didn't even really hang out, but just because we lived around each other, you know what I'm saying, and we saw each other on a daily basis, like you have a connection, I can remember, like, I don't know, your situation, but like, just imagine growing up and it snows outside.
Yeah.
And you be a little scared to go outside. You know why we were scared to go outside? Because the older dudes, they catch you in the snow, bro. They slam you. Like they slamming you, tackling, they harass you in the snow, bro.
Oh man.
Like you used to have to watch your back, bro.
Yeah.
Like some of them older cats, like they catch you, like, oh man.
It's a wrap.
Like, it was a wrap. It was a wrap. So you hone some skills, you learn how to get up out of something, you know what I'm saying? That type of situation. But I mean, I wouldn't change it for the world, bro. It makes you remember certain, like for me, like I could remember, and I talked to like a couple of my dudes, and they probably know the story, like Lenny, George, but like I could vividly remember the time where I had to finally step up and like let somebody know, like, listen, I'm not punk, like, yeah, like it's not gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? Like I literally remember the day, we was playing Kill the Carrier.
Yeah.
Right. and I ain't gonna say no names. You know what I'm saying?
We'll keep it clean. We'll keep
Yeah,
it
I don't know if he want his name like
yeah,
that. You know what I'm saying?
right,
We was
right,
playing Kill the Carrier, and I had ripped somebody's shirt tackling it, and he was like, "Yo, son, you owe me a shirt." You know what I'm saying? I'm like, at first I'm like, "All right, you know what? I ripped your shirt. Come on up to the crib. I'll give you a sheet. I'll give you a shirt."
right,
So, you know, like I didn't have a lot. Single parent home. Me and my mom, my brother. You know, obviously I don't got much. I live on the hill. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So I give dude, you know what I'm saying, like some Crazy Eddie t-shirt or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, and he was like, nah, bro, like you wilding. I'm not taking that. So I can't remember vividly, you know what I'm saying? But I don't know if I went and got another shirt. Let's say I did. I might have got another shirt, but it was another bull crap shirt. He's like, nah, I'm not accepting that. Like you ripped a good shirt.
right.
Right then and there, bro. And he's a little older than me. Good dude. Like I actually just saw him last year. One of the time when I was in New York, bumped into him. Good dude. You know what I'm saying? We ain't never had no problems. You know what I'm saying? But I had to stand my ground at right then and there. I'm like, yo, bro, that's all you getting. Like I gave you what I'm willing to give you. I'm not willing to give you nothing else.
Right.
So you know what I'm saying?
Did you guys talk about that story when you saw him last year? You brought it up.
No, I didn't. We didn't. I didn't bring it up. I didn't bring it up. You know what I'm saying? We
I'm
didn't.
sure
We
you guys
probably should have.
probably had like a good laugh about it too.
We bumped into each other in the bar. You know what I'm saying? I think
Yeah.
I was messing around on the pool table,
Right.
and he was at the bar drinking, and I think he noticed me first. He came up. I'm like, oh, what up? We dapped each other up. So it didn't really even cross my mind. I don't think. I'm pretty sure it didn't at the time.
Right.
But yeah, man, I can vividly remember that time. Like, yo, you gotta take it out my ass, man. Listen, bro, like
Man.
you know, and that's what it brings out of you. Because if you don't, man, people will just punk you.
They take advantage of you, man.
In that environment, like people will just punk you, pick on you. You know what I'm saying? I was never a picker. Like people that didn't know me probably thought that I was like, or heard stories, because I got into a good number of fights as a young person. You know what I'm saying? So people that don't know me, they probably think, oh, this dude's like trouble, or he starts trouble. Like I never started trouble, bro. Like 9 times out of 10, if I got into a fight, like somebody started it, and you got what you had coming. You know what I'm saying? Because that just wasn't me.
Right.
I'm saying I didn't get down like that. So I hated watching people get picked on, but I watch people get bullied and picked on.
Bullied and picked on, yeah.
Like
crazy, man. When was the last time you were up there? You say you were in New York last year. Did you stop on the hill last year and just checked it out, get the feel of the air again, just walk around there and see what it was, or you just didn't bother?
It's not the same place, bro. Didn't even bother. I think last time I was there, I might have drove through. Definitely get out my car. There's nothing to get out my car for.
Yeah.
Like I probably know some people, but for the most part, I know some people that still live there. Like my next door neighbor. Wow. So yeah, my next door neighbor, the mother still lives there. The daughter, I think, moved to the apartments because I grew up on Slynn Ave. Then you had the other apartments on Ewan Ave. Okay. So I think her daughter moved to Ewan, from what I remember. But the mom is still in the same apartment, bro. Wow. Her son lives down here, in South Charlotte.
Okay.
But yeah, same apartment. I was amazed when he told me that she still lived in the same apartment. I was like, you gotta be kidding me.
Wow.
Yeah, everybody know Miss Ellen. Miss Ellen, she used to sell the Muslim oils. Yeah. She's yo, walked everywhere. Good lady, but nobody messed with Miss Ellen.
Nobody messed with her. Yeah.
Nobody messed with Miss Ellen. First of all, she had a son that, he wasn't no small dude. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So you mess with him, you mess with her, you mess with him. So
yeah, you might have a problem.
Yeah. Who'd you hang out with back then? Any cool people you still talk to this day?
Yeah, man. My man George Brooks, Lenny Rogers. Me and Lynn graduated together. George was a couple of years ahead of us. I speak to them more so. Oh, and then Akil. You know what I'm saying? Nadir. Some of the crew was like mixed up because like Nadir was 2 years under us. Akil graduated with us. So like some of the other crew, you had cats like Tony Earl. Shout out to Tony Earl, Guy, Atiba. But those dudes, they mostly hung out. You know what I'm saying, with Nas.
Okay.
Like I hung out with him, but that was like Nas kind of introduced that crew to us, and we all stayed tight. Sean Lawson, but Sean was a year under us. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I speak the most now. I speak to Lenny, Akil, and George, mostly through text.
Right. Catching up, how you doing? How's life? That kind of thing.
Yeah, man. Sending jokes and memes, and
reminiscing the good old days.
Yeah, man, it's rough though, man. Trying to keep up with everybody. Unfortunately, like me and Tone have communicated on social media recently a lot. It's just hard to keep up with everybody. And with me not being there, I'm even more out of the loop.
Right.
So kind of sucks, but it's life, bro. What you gonna do? You can't. It's impossible to keep up with everybody.
Yeah, so many moving parts. Yeah, it's tough. Summit Park Elementary, right? You had an incident, right? Second grade. You got into a fight with a girl named Monique. The teacher who broke up the fight was pregnant. You elbowed her, according to her. Luckily the baby was okay, no birth defects or anything like that. Looking back at that incident, man, in second grade, any regrets about that day? You haven't reconciled with Monique after all these years?
Yeah, me and her we high and by, so we spoke like.
Okay.
Never hung out, nothing like that. I mean, it was just crazy. Like, I was too young, to really. They talk about second grade, but I was too young to even really know what the heck was going on. Right. I just know me and this girl got into it. Like, I don't know what she did. I don't know if she said your mother's a fat. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what she did. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what happened. I can't even remember. We got into it though. She was breaking it up and said that I elbowed her. Like, I'm in second grade. How big can I be? So
you're pretty sure they're up there, and then you're like down here, right?
Yeah. Thank goodness nothing happened to the baby. I got kicked out the district though, man. So that was a
big thing. Yeah.
That was tough, man. Yeah. And like I said, I was second grade. I don't really understand the magnitude of everything, but I got kicked out the district.
Yeah.
And I got sent to an offsite school called Highview.
Yeah.
And I saw a couple of people from the district in there. And I was there from second to fourth grade through fourth grade. Fourth grade, finished fourth grade. And in fifth grade, I was allowed back in the district and went to school at Colton Elementary. So I'll back up a little bit. So I get kicked out of that school. So you know what kind of bus I got on? Because
the special.
I on the small bus, bro.
Yeah, the small bus. Yeah,
I was the small bus.
What was that fight about anyway? You remember that day at all?
Bro, I wish I could. I have no recollection of what that fight was about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I just know I was mad enough to fight her.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what she did. I can't remember what she did. People that know her, like, she grew up and continued to be in a reputation as, kind of a fighter. I don't know if she was good at fighting or not, because I can't really recall being at any of her fights. Right. But I do know from hearing it through the grapevine and just seeing her around, like, she was like one of them hood chicks. Like, I'm calling what it is. Like, she was one of them hood chicks. Like, she was gonna give it up.
She was about it. Yeah.
She was gonna fight.
What involvement your mom had in all this, though? Any kind of say your mom, was she upset? Was she mad at you, or?
I was so young, bro, and I don't really exactly remember her feelings behind it.
Right.
Other than I do remember her having to come get me from school, and then the suspension, and then the ultimate, you know what I'm saying? All right, you up out of here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that was really it. I mean, and growing up, she never really said much about it.
Right.
She was working too hard, bro.
She was pretty much,
Yeah, she worked 3 to 11. I still remember her schedule. She was off Sunday and Mondays.
Right.
But she worked 3 to 11, Tuesday through Saturday, 3 to 11. So she ain't had time for that. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, you got in trouble, you going, as long as they're gonna bust you and take you to school, figure it out. I will tell you something though. I didn't get to mention this before, but my uncle actually worked there. He worked in as like security, I think, and he was in the in school suspension
Okay, ISS.
at that school. Yeah, he was like in the in school suspension at that school. Matter of fact, this is weird. It was called timeout, bro.
Timeout.
Timeout.
Oh man.
You got sent to timeout. You went to that room, and it
Right.
was him. I can't forget who. I forget who else was there, but yeah. So that kind of broke the ice for me there, and it probably made sure. Matter of fact, not even probably. I know that it helped and made sure that I stayed on the straight and narrow.
After
Like
that.
I was rarely in timeout. Like you got to figure, my uncles did. Like
Right. You don't want to see
you know what
him.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I don't want to go see him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not there anyway.
Right.
So that kind of helped me. I know. Looking back,
Yeah.
kind of helped me, bro.
So after all this stuff happened, was like sports your ultimate like outlet, you think, and all of this, basketball, football? Because PAL was your first love, right?
Yeah, man, it was basketball. Basketball was the first love, and
Yeah.
so and just getting into basketball, like I was basically given that opportunity by JB John Boykin. Shout out to John Boykin and K Boy.
Yeah.
I mean, his father, you know, we all call him JB. Um, man,
Was he like a father figure to you, basically?
yeah, he was a father figure to the whole Spring Valley, bro.
Wow.
And his hands touched even outside of Spring Valley. But like, bro, it's like I can't even really put it into words. You know what I'm saying? And like when I'm divorced now, but when I got married, I made sure that him and Kay was invited to the wedding because of that main reason right there. Like at the time he was dating one of my mom's best friends, and I was getting into trouble here and there. Like I was just like, you know, I was a kid that just, you know, I wasn't terrible, but I got in trouble, man. You know, and I think I might have been 11 or probably 11, and 11 or 12, and I think I might have been 11, but I think I put on I forget the age levels. I want to say 12 and under team, but I only got put on the team because like it was like, yo, can you find something for this kid to do? Like doing this coaching and stuff.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like find something for this woman to do. Like get him, you know what I'm saying? And it was on from there, bro. Like I was always a little taller for my age. So playing as a big, you know, and it just came natural. Like dribbling, layups, you know, not so much shooting jump shots, but like going to the hole hard, grabbing rebounds, understanding the game. Like the game came naturally to me, like being able to pass. Like it was crazy, man. So just started playing and had a really good year. I can't remember if the first year if I made. Matter of fact, I'm pretty sure I did. I made the national team every year we played. So when you make the national team, it's basically like they take the all-star team from like all the towns. So when we was coming up, all the towns had PAL, Haverstraw, Nyack, Clarkstown, Suffering. Like they all had a PAL program. We all played each other throughout this year in the season. And we played a championship game. And then they I think they even started having an all-star game, but the best players would make it, you know, you take one or two players from each team, you go and play in the nationals. As a matter of fact, now our championship has an asterisk next to it, but we won the national championship in PAL. I was a sophomore in high school.
Oh wow!
I was still playing because you could play. I think I think it was 17 and under. Might have been
17 and under. Okay, so you're right there. You're right
there.
there.
But still, as a sophomore,
right?
You know, shoot, I was 17 my whole senior year. So as a sophomore, I'm like 14. You know,
right.
But yeah, so we won the nationals. So, but the reason I say there's an asterisk behind it is because when we got entered into the nationals, they had different brackets. I didn't never know this, but they had two separate brackets. One bracket was for players that had no varsity experience. Okay. Then the other bracket was players that had varsity
experience. Right.
Well, we got put in the bracket with no varsity experience, but we were all of age. Like, it wasn't the age wasn't the issue. It was the fact that we were sophomores and we had sophomores that, like, I started on varsity. You know what I'm saying? As a sophomore. Then you had it was me, John Thompson, Pat Jean, Perry, Kevin Blair, Mike Mack from Nyack,
right.
Roger Parker from Nyack, but all of us had played varsity.
Right.
So it wasn't our age. So we won the championship. That was dope, man. Like, I didn't play well. I had a horrible tournament. I didn't play well at all. But we won. You know what I'm saying? That the feeling of winning, it was good. It was a great experience. But yeah, they kind of got stripped of us, and like they can't come and get all the trophies and the pictures and the plaques and you know what I'm saying, and the certificates. Like, we had certificates from all types of members of the county. You know what I'm saying? Remember, like, I didn't even realize this shit exists. Some of the stuff exists. You know what I'm saying? Trustee members and all that. Sending letters to us. I still got all that stuff. But But apparently we was in the wrong bracket.
So 7-9 basketball. It was a B team, A team. Cat, Kevin Blair, Lucian. You guys only lost 2 games to Pomona. 9th, it was 1-1. You kind of caught up to them. You beat them. They beat you. Those guys on the Pomona squad, man. How special were those guys, man? They're pretty special, right? You could beat them, right? Join them, right?
Yeah, bro. Like, and that's exactly what happened with my situation. Like you said. So my 8th grade year, I played freshman, which at the time was a thing. You know what I'm saying? If you was in the East Ramapo School District, you know what I'm saying? If you are in 7th or 8th grade and you're playing as a freshman, you're actually playing up. Right. So as an 8th grade, I played freshman, and our starter lineup, like I said, was me, Lucian, Kev Blair, Kishara Pinkston, and Joe Paranello. These cats over in Pomona, bro.
Right. Stacked.
It was just too much for us, bro. And we was good players.
You guys were good. You guys were really good.
Too much. They had Seth Foster to start. Now, Seth, as a 9th grader, this dude so basketball's after football, right?
Right.
That year, Seth had just came off of being a varsity linebacker for Ramapo.
Right.
He was playing against playing side by side with one of the best linebackers I've ever seen, including Seth. But my cousin Roger Waters, Seth is playing side by side with him as a freshman, and then comes back and plays modified basketball. Well, freshman basketball wasn't modified. 7th, 8th was modified. But yeah, so it's him. You had Maurice James, Sylvester Alston. Like, Sylvester's so underrated. He was so ahead of his time as a baller, ball handler, shooter. Right. Who is them 3? Then Pat, Perry. Oh my God, man! John wasn't there yet. John was still at Spring Valley.
It was stacked.
And the team was at Golden
Moist,
yeah. It was ridiculous. We just couldn't hang with it.
Yeah,
they had too much firepower.
But you and Kevin did your thing, right? You was 19.7. Kevin was 17.6. When was the last time you spoke to Kevin Blair? Shout out to him, by the way.
Yeah, shout out to Kev, man. I haven't spoke to him in a little bit now. But we usually stay in contact. You know what I'm saying? It's it's always still love. It's like one of my best friends. You know what I'm saying? Ever.
Right.
But yeah, man, we had a great 9th grade year, bro. We went 11-1, I think it was, and that one loss was to Pomona. Yeah, he averaged 17 something. I averaged 19 and a half, 19.7, something like that. Right. I missed 2 games that year because I had to miss 2 games. I missed one game. I missed the last game of the football season.
Right.
And I missed the first 2 games of the basketball season because I got suspended. I got Mr. Malden. In Mr. Malden's social studies class, I got in trouble for like, it was just like I was laughing at somebody's shoes. Like, I couldn't stop laughing. Me and Kevin was in
kids back in the day, right? Yeah,
bro. We were laughing. I got kicked out the class, and then I did something stupid. I went down the hallway because I was pissed that he kicked me out, but it was my own fault. I was laughing. I should have got myself under control, but I didn't. He kicked me out. Then I go down the hall somewhere downstairs. I punch a glass on one of the doors, and after punching that glass, they suspended me for the last football game and the first 2 games of basketball. I'm glad they just didn't kick me off the basketball team.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
So yeah, with Kev, man, we had a good run. I wish we would have swept Pomona.
Yeah.
It was a close game, like both games. The game we beat them and the game they beat us. I wish we would have swept them.
Right.
And I don't think they would have beat us if Lenny would not have went to Pomona. He transferred to Pomona.
Right.
If he didn't transfer, I don't think they would have beat us. I don't think they could have they didn't have any. I don't think they had any guards that could have hung with us.
Who was your favorite teammate? Was Pomona the biggest rivalry? You guys back and forth? Yeah.
Spring Valley was they was all right, but they wasn't. Yeah. It was Pomona.
Pomona for sure.
It was Pomona, and getting a win against them, you know what I'm saying, was so tough, bro.
Yeah.
They had like that 9th grade year. I was 6 foot, bro, and I had been 6 foot for I don't know how long, bro. I ain't grow. I think the last time I got a spurt was probably like 5th grade.
5th grade.
Yeah, like it's
you've been 6 foot forever.
Well, I was 6 foot forever, bro.
Yeah.
So then we had to go against Slim, 6'2", 6'3".
Tyson, shout out to Tyson.
Rocco, 6'3". You know what I'm saying? Yeah. At the time, Sean Scott was still playing. He was about 6'1.5", 6'2"-ish. You know what I'm saying?
The height was ridiculous over there.
Yeah, they were bigger than us. You know what I'm saying? Like even like it was like our big man was me and Andy, Aurelian. You know what I'm saying? And I'm taller than Andy. Yeah. Andy's a athletic phenom though.
Right.
Let me tell you something. Andy was dunking on a high school rim, on a regulation rim, when we was in Colton.
Man.
On everything. Andy Aurelian was dunking on a regulation rim when we was in elementary school. When we was in 6th grade. Man. 6th grade, this dude was straight flushing it. Bro, because we had these was it? Yeah, Colton. No, I'm lying. No, so it was 7th grade. He was dunking.
Okay,
for sure. So it was Kakiat. It was at Kakiat. So at Kakiat we had these rims that was lower. So we used to play full court during, lunchtime. You know what I'm saying? Play full court. And then one day, because it was dunk rims. You know what I'm saying? We all could dunk. But one day, I think we might have beat him. Me and Kev might have beat his team. Might have been him and Lenny or something. And I don't know how I got into it, but I don't know if I dunked on him or something happened. He was like, well, I bet you can't do this. He went over to the other rims and dunked it.
Wow.
7th grade, bro. I'm like, oh, shit. Bro, I was like tapping backboard, maybe touching rim.
Right.
Or barely touching rim. And, yeah, she was flushing it. So he was a beast.
He was a beast. Who's your favorite teammate in all those years back then?
Oh,
before you got to Ramapo.
Kev, man.
Blair.
Yeah, that was bread and butter right there, bro.
Yeah. What was training like? Did you guys train over the summer? What was training like? What kind of training you guys did? Pick up games?
For us, like honestly, over the summer we played AAU ball, so small AAU ball. The team was Hoop Street. If you're from Rockland and you ball back in the day, you know exactly what Hoop Street is. Coach was Barry Knapp. Shout out to Barry Knapp. There's another dude that helped me tremendously, kept me off the streets, bro. All summer long, I was traveling the tri-state area playing ball.
Right.
And playing ball in tournaments in Jersey, Connecticut, the city, upstate New York. Just traveled all summer long, So it really wasn't. I mean, we didn't make time for training, and I should have. You know what I'm saying? But when you're a kid, I was lucky to have that outlet to be gone. You know what I'm saying? Because other than that, I would have been in the streets.
Right.
So while I still played a lot of ball, like in the Memorial Park, I played so much ball throughout the summer. Like if I wasn't at a tournament, I was in the park balling. That was my training, balling. But man, other than that, you run around chasing girls and getting into shit you wasn't supposed to be into, bro.
Yeah.
Just
When was the last time you picked up a basketball? Last time you picked up a ball, shot some hoops.
I pick up a ball all the time now, bro.
Yeah, I mean you got a daughter now, right? So
Yep. My daughter, she's in 10th grade and she plays. So I've been trying to train her. It's been hard scheduling wise, and she's not really in love with the game the way I feel like the way I know that I was, but
right.
she is passionate about playing, and she's passionate about participation and being a part of the team. You know what I'm saying? She wants to get better. I don't think she necessarily knows how to go about it on her own. So that's where
That's where you come in, right?
That's where I come in. But I'm also not that parent that's gonna push the kid to like. I'm not gonna like. She's 5'9" and a half. She's lacking guard skills, so she's not going D1. You know what I'm saying. So we're gonna go hard, but we ain't trying to train till the wheels fall off, and
right.
it's just not that type of situation. Now, if she wanted that, you know what I'm saying, if she's like, "Yo, Dad, this is what," she says, like, "I want to go to school, play ball." I'm like, "All right, we'll see." You know what I'm saying? I'm still the one calling her to train. When she start calling me, then I know that she's 100% serious about it. But I pick up a ball all the time, man.
You guys play one-on-one? You guys play one-on-one pickup games? Who wins? You or her?
She can't beat me yet. I'm too big. I'm too big for it. So she's faster than me, believe it or not.
Okay.
She's faster than me. But like if I really want to win, I just take her in the post.
That's it. Game over. You're down below. It's over.
Yeah, but I don't even really do that. You know what I'm saying? She's just not as skilled as Dad.
Yeah.
But she gives me a go.
Right.
I will say this: she did beat me the other day, but
okay.
I didn't let her, but I let her. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like I wasn't going super hard.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like because it was more of a training go, and I'm trying to work with her on certain things.
Right.
But I shoot all the time. I'm trying so hard to get back into great shape to where I could run full court.
Right.
I almost embarrassed myself. A couple of months ago, bro, I tried to run. It was like big college pro level court, and I didn't really realize how long it was. Right. Bro, I couldn't wait for that game to be over, and I haven't gotten back on the full court since. Because your boy need to shed a couple pounds before he do that again. He's ain't ready to rock. When I tell you I couldn't wait for that game to be over, then they stuck me on a fast guard. I'm like, bro, y'all see how old I am? These grades, what are you doing? Stuck me on a fast guard. They was all scared to stick. I'm like, man. But yeah, I love ball, man.
That's what's up, man. So 10, 11, and 12, Ramapo, your aunt knew Coach Sachs, right? Tell us about that. What do you remember most about Coach Sachs? Any life lessons you apply in your daily life because of him to this day?
Man, I think of Sachs all the time when I'm thinking of coaching. Yeah. I'm thinking of a team and watching my daughter's team. You know what I'm saying? There are times where they've had teams down and they never put them away. But anyway, I'll get to the beginning of the question. So my uncle's wife, so my uncle being my mom's brother, his wife, Valerie Foster, shout out to Willie Foster, Valerie Foster, and their son Jared. But so she worked with Coach Sachs at El Dorado, from my understanding.
Okay.
And so 9th grade summer, going into sophomore year, out of nowhere, it was like, hey, we want to introduce you to Coach Sachs. Like, I don't know whose idea it was. I do know that Sachs knew the 9th grade coach, Coach Frank DiCarlo. I lost touch with Mr. DiCarlo. I mean, I would imagine he's passed by now because he was older then. But that was another good dude. Mr. DiCarlo, I gotta give him a shout out because that dude gave me my first tie, bro. Wow. My first tie, because I didn't have a tie to wear to the game days.
Right.
He gave me like several ties and several shirts. Like, so shout out to Frank DiCarlo, man. But him and Sax did know each other. So I don't know if Sax requested the meet or my aunt asked. I don't know exactly how that went to this day.
Right.
But we met up at Ramapo. We talked for a little bit. He asked me about some of my aspirations and if I definitely was planning on playing basketball. Like, yeah. We talked for a little while, and he kind of helped me make up my mind because I was leaning towards Ramapo. Because where I live on the hill, I had a choice between Spring Valley.
Spring Valley or Ramapo.
Okay. Yeah, I had a choice.
Right.
I just told you my one of my best friends is Kev Blair, and that's one of my best teammate, probably my best teammate ever. And I kind of wanted to go there, but Kev kind of had it good at Spring Valley because they was already watching him since he was a freshman, bro. They was watching him, like they knew who he was, and like it was unsaid, but like he was the up and coming point guard, like bottom line.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Bottom line, that's what it was, and he earned it. He earned every bit of it. Like Kev used to play in the park. You know what I'm saying? On the middle court with grown men, where you couldn't get on those courts, bro.
Right.
You could not get on those courts with the grown men. And him in 7th, 8th, 9th, he was playing in the middle court. So that tells you how skilled he was. You know what I'm saying? With grown men. So anyway, that he beating Sax kind of was like, you know what? I don't know. I know Spring Valley's coaches, but I don't know them. They don't know me like, and I ain't heard nothing from nobody. Like, you know what? And then after all that losing to Pomona, all them cats from Pomona go to Ramapo. Right. Like it's rare somebody from Pomona goes to Spring Valley.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, you know what? And then especially for football, because they had such tremendous football years. You know what I'm saying? Like Pomona, like what was it? If Seth was a 9th grader when I was an 8th grader, his 8th grade year, I think it was, they went like undefeated, unscored upon. Yeah.
Special team. 93, I believe, was special. Yeah.
Kicking ass and taking names.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I was still playing Pop Warner at the time, but I remember that team, and I'm like, if I could think of all the linemen, if I could just think, I'm like, you know what? That's a state title waiting to happen right there.
Right.
So I went to Ramapo.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm like, yo, bump that. I'm going to Ramapo. You know what I'm saying? So as far as Sax was a very intense coach, believe it or not. Like if you look at his demeanor, you probably think he's not an intense guy, but you get this dude to coaching.
Yeah.
Like I remember, and I know all the guys will remember this. He used to always say, like, yo, when you get him down, you keep him down. I want to see bulging eyes. Like literally, like step on their neck.
Yeah.
And I want to see bulging eyes. Like I don't even want these guys to breathe. When the game is over, then you let up.
Right.
And that was the mentality that he instilled in us, yo. Like so, it was good, man. Like I miss dude, man. I was fortunate enough to I didn't go to his funeral. I was living in upstate New York. My schedule really didn't permit it. But like this guy, like I got the opportunity to allow him to meet my son, so that was pretty cool. And he coached my brother for a little bit. My brother was a different type of knucklehead, so I don't think they really got to mesh the way the way it should have went down.
Right.
But I got to introduce him to my son. I went to see a game. I can't remember what year it was. My son was young. My son's about to be 25 on the 10th of this month. So in a day, like tomorrow's the 9th. Yeah, the 10th, he'll be 25. So he was young, but got to meet him. He looked at some of the banners on the wall in the gym. He's like, your dad's a big part of that right there. Without him, we don't do that. So that, that was a pretty cool moment. You know what I'm saying? Cool. Yeah. Just getting the respect. But like from a coach's standpoint, you know what I'm saying? Like different stuff that I even tell my daughter, I'm like, listen, you got to know the game. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, if it's a free play, if the play is like you just got a fast break, y'all didn't score, and the coach hasn't called the play. I asked this the other day. I'm like, what do y'all do? I was like, do you have a secondary fast break? You know what I'm saying? I was like, does the coach let you freelance a little bit before he calls a play? And she's like, yeah, sometimes. I'm like, all right, well, what my coach told me was, you know what I'm saying, is never stay in one spot more than like 3 seconds. You got to be doing something. Like that was mostly our offense.
Right.
It may have looked like we was running a lot of plays because Rasheem would come down, throw his hand up, but we mostly ran a motion offense. And in a motion offense, it's unpredictable. The thing is, you just don't stand still for more than like 2.5, 3 seconds. You go do something.
Running around, yeah.
You go set a pick. You make a cut. You know what I'm saying? You on ball screen, off ball screen, or you cut into the basket. You are doing something. Find something to do. Do not just stand around. And it's an unpredictable offense. You can't stop an offense like that as long as you got kids that know the game and they make good decisions. Can't guard it.
Yeah. What was that basketball locker room like? Any controversies without name dropping in there? What was that like?
Yeah, man. Heck yeah. Listen, it was competitive, right? Super competitive. You got to figure my sophomore year, me, myself, John, Pat. Let me think. I can't. Oh man, this is funny. I can't even think of the exact starters my sophomore year.
Right.
Wow.
We'll get back to that. We'll get back to that.
Yeah, K-Boy was the point. You know what I'm saying?
So he graduated. Yeah.
Yeah. So through sophomore year and 11th grade year, one thing was Sachs used to put stats up. He didn't do it senior year, but stats used to be up. So you could see free throw percentages, field goal percentages, turnovers. Bro, it was brutal. Wow. So when K was doing stuff like turning the ball over, like, yo, apple turnover, what's good, baby?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know how to bake something other than apple turnover? Like, we want to eat, but we don't want turnovers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it got brutal, bro. Like, if you wasn't a good free throw shooter, like, you either had to get on your game or you was gonna get let known about it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I think he might. I don't know exactly if he just. I don't know if he got tired of doing the stats, if he felt like it was too time consuming, or if he heard some of the arguments in the locker room, and he was like, you know what?
Wait a minute. So, did you guys used to call each other out in the locker room? Like call each other out?
Heck yeah, man! It was like, heck yeah, like it's like.
Listen, you guys all knew each other, right? So it was like it's fair game, right?
Yeah, we all grew up with each other, man. So practices was harder than games, all the time. Like going at each other's throats. You know what I'm saying? Like I can tell you, junior year you had Rasheem and Lynn coming off the bench, and they used to give our guards hell. You know what I'm saying? The bigs used to give me hell. Like Rasheem to this day will tell me, "Oh, you's a bully." He would say that because what happened was, you had Slim, Gary, Andy Aurelian. Like you had all these guys, you know what I'm saying, that was, they was coming off the bench. But these guys had pride, you know what I'm saying? But like it would get bad to where like I felt like, all right, y'all not egging them on to play hard. Like y'all don't even care that it's starting to get like fouling. You know what I'm saying? Like all I'm asking for is like, yo, we're not gonna foul. We're gonna play. We're gonna play. You know what I'm saying? But he calls it out. I was being a bully. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, bro, listen, y'all used to gas him up, and it just turned into something else. Like we ain't even balling. Like I'm getting held trying to run a play. I'm getting held trying to get through a screen. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm going up for layups and getting murdered. Like, nah. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's it. You got to put your foot down sometime. Like, you're not. You got to stop. You know what I'm saying?
On the hill, them bullies, right? We talked about the hill, right? See? It comes full circle now, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah. Like, it's a thin line, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a thin line. You know what I'm saying? Let's keep it there. But it was like we used to go hard, man, and we used to have so much fun, bro. Like I remember dance hall. So dance hall was like anytime we would do our spread offense, and spread was like we had a lead or something, and you know what I'm saying, we trying to keep the ball spread out, and we not, we want good shots. If we don't have good shots, we're not taking a shot.
Not taking a
Dance
shot.
hall was like if you became the person in the middle with the ball, you know what I'm saying, you would just, you know what I'm saying, you would go in. You know what I'm saying? Like show your move, show what you got. You know what I mean? And I remember that. We used to do that. That usually happened at least once every like end of practice when we was going through that scenario.
Dance hall. Yeah.
Dance hall was the boo.
Wow. How much minutes you averaged? You felt you had enough playing time?
I got skimmed out of some minutes senior year. Just because we had so many blowouts. I can't really remember. Other than that, like my sophomore year, like I said, I started as a sophomore, and I never felt like I wasn't getting enough playing time. It was only one time when I came back from suspension. I got suspended, academic suspension. Myself and John. I'm sure John wouldn't mind me saying that. But it was myself and John. Our sophomore year, we got suspended in the middle of the basketball year for academics. Now we ended up 12-7 that year, and we lost 2 starters for a good part of the year, me and John. So that tells you just how good of a team, we still had. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When I came back, I was a little aggy because I felt like John got preferential treatment. He got put in the game before me. He got put in the game before me, and I thought he played more minutes than me. Right, so I was hot. That was like only 1 out of 2 times that I was really hot at Sachs. You know what I'm saying? I was like pissed. I felt slighted. You know what I'm saying? And it was really because I had just came off suspension, and I was aching to play so bad. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And felt like he jerked me around, but after that game, we had I had a little said what I said in the locker room. I was pissed off, and we got through it, and it was as the season continued on, man, we got through that, and we played 2 playoff games. We made it to playoffs. We almost made it to the county center. We lost to, which I'm sure was the eventual Section 1 champs. Either them or White Plains could have won it that year, if I'm not mistaken. But it was Mount Vernon. We lost at Mount Vernon. We lost maybe about like 7-8 points to Mount Vernon.
Wow.
Tough game.
game.
And they dogs. Straight dogs.
Yeah. Who talked the most trash back then in the locker room, basketball locker room? Was that you, or was that Rocco, Mo James? Who was that? Who was it?
Well, Mo got jerked. Mo should have played. Mo should have been on varsity. Unfortunately, Mo didn't make varsity basketball. He should have been a senior year. You know what I'm saying? But we were guard laden, and but shit talkers, man, Slim, Rasheen, Lenny did a little bit of both. Rocco, super animated. You know what I'm saying?
That's my guy, man. That's my guy.
Nah, Rocco, listen.
Yeah.
Rocco saved us in the county center.
He did.
Senior year, Rocco saved us in the county center. I got in foul trouble.
Okay.
Let me tell you. So, me, Slim, and our manager, Akil, we missed the bus to the first game of the county center.
So the bus took off without you guys?
The bus took off without us, bro.
What?
Yeah. Bro, they left us, dude. Senior year, first game in the counties in the semifinals of the county center against FDR, Franklin D. Roosevelt. They left us. Our assistant coach, shout out to Paul Suba. Everybody knows Sue.
Yeah. He drove you guys to the game.
Paul doubled back to get us. Because Paul traditionally drove to the games. He didn't really ride on the bus with us.
Okay.
So he doubled back and had to come get us.
Okay. We
got to the game with barely enough time to just change our clothes and go out on the floor, bro. Wow. So now I say that to say I came out hot. I scored 12 points in the first quarter.
Man.
Yeah. Came out hot. Scored probably the first 6 points of the game. And I think that was a good thing because I think it broke the ice for the rest of the team.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's always good to have somebody come out hot because it can kind of just break the ice of the
pressure
game.
on everybody else. Yeah.
Yes, takes the pressure off everybody else. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, yo, but I think I was too amped. And I didn't even realize it. Because like I said, like we ran in, we had to change real quick and then go in the layup lines and get, you know what I'm saying? Like nobody was even in the locker room, bro, when we got there. They had just got dressed and was going down. Like it was bad. But it didn't give me a lot of time to think about the game, and I didn't realize how hyped, amped I was. But I know I had to be amped to score 12 points because I'm not a prolific.
Despite what happened, right? Despite what happened, you came in there hot, ready to go.
Yeah, I think I just wasn't even. It just didn't even register the moment of the game. So came in hot, scored 12 points, but I was in foul trouble the whole game. So when I say I was too amped, I was committing dumb fouls.
Right.
I was in foul trouble the whole first half. So Rocco had to come in earlier than he normally would in any other circumstance, and he held it down. He held it down. Especially in the second half when I fouled out, bro. I probably played like a minute or two in the second half. That's all she wrote.
Done. Wow.
Night. So if we would have lost that game, you know how bad I would have felt.
That's a crazy story.
Yo,
from missing the bus to coming in there, going crazy, and then you were so hyped, got in foul trouble, got out of there 2 minutes in the second half. I was
a cheerleader. I was one of the biggest cheerleaders. I was, bro. Like, could not do nothing about the game. All I could do was like talk to them when they came to the bench, like, see what I'm seeing. Like, they held it down, man. They held it down. And Rocco was one of the biggest catalysts, man. Just on the boards, he was a straight animal, bro. Yeah, he was an animal. I think he probably had 12, 15 points something that game, something like that.
You had any pregame rituals before the games? You had to do something specifically before the games? What'd you do? You psych yourself up before the games?
I had to take a dunk.
Yeah.
I had to take a dunk all the time.
Was that out of nervousness or what? It was just
I always had butterflies. I don't know why.
Really?
Like, just always had a little like always had the urge. Like always had to feel like I have to. Like if I don't take a dunk, I'm not gonna feel comfortable. Yeah, so I had to do that. Other than that,
right.
I always got taped, which it kills me.
Ankles and wrists.
Just ankles.
Ankles. Okay.
Yeah, just ankles.
Right.
It always like I talk to my daughter now. I don't know what the hell they do down here in North Carolina, like some of their schools.
Yeah.
Bro, they trainers like they don't even got the option to be like really get taped. Like they still wearing big ankle braces from sports stores and stuff. I'm like, what? You don't get your ankles taped?
Yeah.
Like we were so lucky, bro. Like we used to go as long as you got there. Only thing Smitty, shout out to Smitty. You know what I'm saying? The trainer, Mark Smith.
Yeah.
As long as you got there early, you know what I'm saying? You wasn't playing around, talking, lollygagging. As long as you got there on time, you was gonna get taped.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like,
that was it.
Yeah. Got to get my ankles taped and ready to rock and roll.
There were some crazy nicknames, right, on that team, like legendary nicknames. You got the name Rome. Who gave you that nickname Rome?
Oh man, it was just. I mean, it's natural, right?
Jerome.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I don't even like saying Jerome.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if I ever told anybody that. I don't like saying my name, especially like over the phone.
Right.
And like if it's somebody like, especially a foreigner, I don't like saying my name. So even when I order food and stuff, it's Jay. You know what I'm saying? But you had it's just I had that name. I mean, it's so natural, man. Like so many people say it. Right. Like I got people that I would not even know for how long, and just because they don't want to say they Rome, what up, Romy Rome? Yeah, oh my God, bro, Martin.
Yeah, Martin. Yeah,
Martin, dude. Yeah. Like that shit used to drive me crazy. I ain't even gonna hold you. Like when Martin came out with the character Jerome. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Every time somebody said Jerome in the house, I'm like, man, listen. You know. So yeah, it was just like. It came, man. It was just like I can't even tell you. I can't even say who started. Now I can say the nickname Romeo.
Okay.
And it's funny because the newspaper did an article, and because I had the tattoo on my arm in high school,
right?
And it said it was Romeo. So that was like all my close friends, and then there was one of the older heads, Julius Ward. Shout out to Julius Ward. He played basketball, and football at Ramapo. He was a good athlete, man. When he saw the article, he was like, "Yo, bro, how you do me like that?" He's like, "You know who gave you the nickname Romeo? You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, son." Like, so I got a laugh out of that, man. That was a funny story. But you had me, you had Rocco. I do not know how Rocco got the nickname.
I gotta get him on the show.
Yeah, I don't know how he got the nickname.
Yeah.
I think Rocco had that nickname since Pomona, though.
I think so too.
And then Slim.
Yeah.
Slim is obvious. Slim is still Slim, bro.
Yeah.
Slim is out here. Me and Slim. Oh, you know what? I ain't even say. Me and Slim talk too all the time.
Okay, it's funny. Still communicate. Okay, cool.
Yeah. It's me, him, Akil, we call him Lover. We call Akil Lover. Kill was a lover on the low, bro. Like, straight up. You know what I'm saying?
We call there was Bug. It was a lot, man.
Yo, Bug was John. You know what I'm saying?
Odie, Omar.
Odie.
Yeah.
A lot of nicknames, brother. A lot of, you know what I'm saying? And like a lot of cats had them since they was young. I think John started doing Bug probably like 11th grade, maybe.
Okay.
I don't know if you remember, John had his chain, this J Bug. Was it J Bug or Bug? No, I think it just said Bug.
Bug.
That shit was pretty cool though.
Crazy, man. Crazy. Who was the sixth man you think off that roster? The roster was so stacked. Who was the sixth man you think of those teams back in high school?
So 11th grade, you had Rasheen.
Okay.
Rasheen was probably him and Lenny, kind of depending on the situation, what was going on. They were the first people coming off the bench.
Right.
And then Slim, you know what I'm saying? Rocco. Senior year, it was probably Rocco. Now Rocco missed some of the senior year due to academics, unfortunately.
Okay.
Which bled over from football.
Right. Okay.
Which is a tragic story. But anyway, yeah, so Rocco, I'm bugging. Andrew Walker.
Okay.
Andrew was massive off the bench. Andrew always brought energy. You know what I'm saying? And let me tell you, we were small.
Right.
But like I was the only cat that wasn't dunking on a regular basis.
Okay.
Like Drew, flush it, no problem. Slim, Rocco, obviously John, even Rasheen could dunk. Lynn. Like Lynn broke his hand senior year trying to dunk against Suffering. Fast break. Flipped off the rim.
You ever dunked before in a game?
No, never dunked in a game. Only in layup line.
Okay.
And that was only once. Bro,
but you remember that time that happened though, right? To this day.
Bro, it wasn't even in the season. It was junior year.
I wish it was counted.
I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. It was June. Shout out to Keep It a Buck podcast too. That's Lynn's podcast. I don't know if you know he does a podcast called Keep It a Buck.
Right.
Yeah. So it was the end of junior year. We was in layup line for the student faculty game.
Okay.
And I caught a dunk in the layup line. That was the only time I dunked in the high school gym. Yeah.
That felt good though.
It did. I thought I was on to something. but I was being delusional because first of all, the rim I dunked on, I don't know if you remember this, but remember before they in the gym. So if you're coming from the parking lot entrance and you come into the gym where the office is,
right there, yep, on the left.
You got that rim right there. The rim on the far end, that joint was leaning, bro. You don't remember that?
Oh, it's leaning. Okay, a little down. Yeah. So it wasn't as high. Yeah.
It was slightly. It wasn't a super lean, but it was like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that was the rim I caught it on.
Okay.
They got rid of that rim.
After that happened, we gotta get rid of this rim.
They got rid of that rim. So that joint was like 9. That shit was like 9 feet and 3/4 or something because it was just like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But that was the only time I caught a dunk. You know, like I was the most athletic non-jumper probably ever in history, bro.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it just made no sense.
Right.
Like I can tell you, if I told you I had 17 rebounds in a game in high school, it was junior year against Woodlands. I don't know if it was a tournament or not. I want to say it was a White Plains tournament. But I can't vividly remember. But I do remember it was a 17-17 game. That was probably my best game stat-wise in high school. 17 rebounds. Bro, I grabbed 17 rebounds, but I can't dunk.
Man, it's crazy.
I'm getting the ball on the back of the rim.
Yeah.
All the time.
Right.
I caught an alley-oop dunk in the park one time.
Okay.
But it wasn't in a game. It was just,
right.
We trying to dunk. Matter of fact, we was playing me and Lynn. We was playing two against one. Matter of fact, this was it was probably 10th grade. It was like 2 against 1 against this older dude that we grew up with. And he was like, man, y'all can't beat me. Because I think he had got locked up, came home, and he thought it was still sweet. Because he used to serve us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So me and Lynn was looking like, you really want to play both of us? It's like, yeah, I can't see. Bro, Lynn laid that. I don't know what part of the game it was, but Lynn laid that joint up there.
Yeah.
And I caught it on his head, yo. Shout out to Q. That's Jones. My man Quentin.
That's funny. That's a funny story. How special was that 97 squad? Your record, how far did you guys go? Could you guys have won it all?
Yeah, man.
It was a lot. It was heavy. 97.
We could have won it all. I'm gonna say that right then, But then we shoulda, coulda, woulda all the time. But we had it, man. We had the squad. We lost focus.
Okay.
We lost focus. 20, we hit 23-2 on the season. 23-1 in the regular season. Then we lost the game in the semifinals of the states to Glens Falls to Hempstead. Instead of Long Island.
Of Long Island, yeah. How were you after that game, Jay? I mean, a lot of people cried after that game. Some were angry, upset. How were you in that bus ride home, man? What was that like?
Unfortunately,
at
the time, I was masking my feelings.
Really? You were keeping it inside. You were quiet.
Because I thought I was doing something different than I had always done. Like I always was a type of person to wear they hard on their sleeve. And I always took losses really bad. Like when we lost to Pomona, I cried every single time. You know what I'm saying? When I lost to Spring Valley, except for senior year, the Spring Valley, we had some injuries. And that was the only game we lost that year, senior year. But losing that game, I didn't cry because we still had the playoffs to worry about. And we had get back in the playoffs big time,
right?
Because junior. So I'll have to take you back. So junior year, you got to understand. Junior year with K-Boy, and Ed Bell, their senior year, we were 17-3, and one of those losses being in the playoffs,
right? And
then one of those losses in the season was a buzzer beater in the White Plains Christmas tournament against Stepinac High School, a Catholic school in White Plains. You know what I'm saying? We lost to him on a buzzer beater. The guard's name was Elijah something, but he hit a buzzer beater, bro, to beat us. You know what I'm saying? So that's one loss. And then we lost a game to Spring Valley. That was 2 losses. But we had played Spring Valley junior year 3 times. Played them once in there. So what happened was they had a Christmas tournament that year, junior year. It was the Sean Coleman Christmas tournament at Spring Valley High School, hosted by Spring Valley.
Right.
And they tried to set us up, bro. They set us up to play against Peekskill High School. Peekskill High School with Elton Brand. This is Elton's junior year because Elton graduated the same year, 97, that we graduated.
Went to Duke.
Junior year. He's coming off a state title. He's already this 6'8" monster. So they thought they set us up to start us against them. I forgot who they played. I want to say Albertus, but I could be bugging. But anyway, they set us up. Man, we spanked Peekskill. Spanked him.
Yeah.
Spanked him. It was I remember Kay made this kid do a 360. He hit him with a cross,
Right.
and like a fake behind his back, and this
Yeah.
dude like
Spin
did a
around.
360. Yo, we had it on tape. You know what I'm saying? Yo, did a 360. But we won. We played Spring Valley in the championship game of that tournament, and we beat them. So that's why we played them 3 times that year. So then you got 17-2 going into the tournament, and we make it to the final center. I mean the Civic Center, you know what I'm saying, the County Center, Westchester County Center. So we are one of the last 4 teams in the Final Four for the section. So it's us against Arlington, Spring Valley against Mount Vernon. Mm-hmm. We were the number 1 seed overall. Number 1 seed overall. All like they call it the Gannett Suburban number 1, the poll, number 1 poll. Like we were the number 1 seed with 2 losses. Wow. We lost to Arlington. And we was not supposed to lose, obviously, as the number 1 seed.
Number one seed, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You get the lowest seed coming in. We was not supposed to lose to that team. We lost. Spring Valley, led by Kev Blair, Joe Paranello, and Rodney Bell. They had Jason Joubert, I think, was on that team. I don't know if you know Jason Joubert. Jason's like 6'7".
6'7", big guy.
He grew up in Fred Heck. Shout out to Jason. But they beat Mount Vernon. They wasn't supposed to win, and then they beat Arlington in the championship. And actually, Spring Valley ended up winning the chip. You know what I'm saying?
Look at that.
Shout out to but let me tell you.
But if you guys met Spring Valley in the finals, would you guys have beaten Spring Valley?
That's what I was about to say.
Okay.
I am glad for the town, for the hometown. That would have been a beautiful moment for us to meet up in the county center.
Right. But you were happy that they won.
But for us as players,
yeah,
bro, I didn't want to be in that game. None of us. If anybody said they wanted to play that game, they was lying. When we played Spring Valley, especially our junior year, it was knockdown, drag out fights. It was war. And we had already played them 3 times. So that would have been the 4th time.
4th time, yeah.
That would have been too much. It would have been good for the county. It would have been good for the town of Spring Valley. Like, let me tell you, like, Spring Valley would have had the county center on smash. Because, like, it was a lot of supporters, even if it was just Ramapo or Spring Valley in the county center. But for us both to be there and playing against each other, yeah, I can't even fathom. Me personally, and I definitely didn't want to play that game and lose to them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So if you ask me, like, would you have rather lost to beat Arlington and lost to Spring Valley?
Right.
Hell no. Just go ahead and take me out. Let Arlington take me up out of here. You know what I'm saying? Because I do not want to go play my rival and lose in this championship game.
Right.
Bro, I don't know.
Around before, yeah.
We could have never lived that down. Like right now, I can talk to somebody on that team. My man, I keep in contact with him too. Me, him, and Rasheen have like a circle that we stay in contact. Brian Hogg, he played at Spring Valley. You know what I'm saying? He was probably their second leading scorer junior year between him and Rodney. But he would never let me live that down. Like right now, he can't really say nothing to me because they didn't beat us. You know what I'm saying?
Even though
had they beat us, oh man,
yeah, it would have been bittersweet, man.
Bro. Yeah. We'd have never been able to live it down. So it worked out. It worked out how it worked out. Like that it would have been insane. Because I couldn't imagine playing them in the county center, bro. I really couldn't. Yeah. I don't know who would have won. Because they beat me. Spring Valley beat me every year I played.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Every year I played, we split with them.
You had a chance to beat them for when it mattered the most.
And
it didn't happen. Yeah.
But the thing was, bro, they had to get. I'm gonna put you on to something. This is what made it worse. So that junior year, we call it the Valentine's Day Massacre. When we played them junior year, I had no part in this. I didn't even know till like towards the end of the game that it was gonna happen.
Right.
But it was a Valentine's Day game. Some dudes on the team made Valentine's Day cards for them with broken hearts.
And see, you guys started it, man. And
after the game,
yeah,
start handing them out. to them. Kev Blair almost got into a fight with his name was Joe Heller. Shout out to Joe Heller. Joe Heller was on the bench our junior year.
Right.
Bro, I don't know if Kay knew about it. I don't know if Ed knew about it, or John, or even Pat. I did not know about that they did that shit until after the game. Like they handed me. Could you imagine losing the game in Spring Valley Ramapo, bro?
Yeah. Yeah.
And this was probably the second time we beat them that year. Right. At Spring Valley.
At Spring Valley. Yeah.
Dudes handing these dudes broken heart envelopes.
I've never heard that before.
Valentine's Day cards. We call it the Valentine's Day Massacre.
Man, that's crazy.
But yeah, so
that story.
Yeah, man. So we had that, and then you fast forward to senior year. Senior year was special. So I remember I told you we lost to Arlington, right?
Right.
Well, guess who our first game of the season was? Arlington.
Wow. You smoked them?
We didn't smoke them.
Okay.
But we beat them at Arlington. And it's crazy, bro. Arlington is not that far from Rockland County.
A little redemption. Where's Arlington? Where's Arlington, by the way?
It's up towards Poughkeepsie.
Okay.
Bro, getting called N-words.
Up there?
Yeah. It's so shocking. Like, I couldn't even believe. I was like, what? And they had I don't know if they had any black dudes on that particular team, but I know they had black kids in their school and on their football team and stuff. I don't know if they had any black kids on their basketball team. They had a really good guard, Joe Velarde. He was a great baseball player. I think he might have went D1, played baseball. And he kind of gave us the business junior year, but he was a junior. So we beat them that game. Yeah, we beat them that game. We didn't smoke them, but we beat them. But then we got to play them first round of the playoffs. And that's when at Ramapo. And that's when we smoked them.
That's when you destroyed them, yeah.
Smoked turkey. Matter of fact, I think that's when John scored his 1,000th point.
Okay, Arlington. Yeah, I believe so. I think I have him on the show. I believe so, Arlington.
Yeah, tissue paper on their heads and everything. Yeah, we beat the brakes off their ass at Ramapo. Yeah. And we needed that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that was one of the cool things. We got to spank Arlington twice, and one of the times being in the playoffs to send their ass home because they shouldn't have won that. They shouldn't have won that game, but
the previous year. But yeah,
they shouldn't have won that game, but they did. You know what I'm saying? And then the playoff run, man, was we was on it. We just lost focus at the end of the year, like certain stuff that you don't really think about that comes into play, and you really need your coaching staff and everybody to be on the same page. Like, you got to figure, man, we're seniors. Like, Pat and Perry had just taken a visit to Marist College for football. I didn't have the greatest grades, but I wasn't failing. I was passing. Right. No problem, but I didn't have great grades, and I didn't have a great SAT score. You know what I'm saying? So, like, those type of pressures were starting to mound up on us. And from the outside looking in, you don't really realize that. Like, you got seniors in high school thinking about what they're going to do with the rest of their life. And those pressures kind of got on us. You know what I'm saying? Like, we had a small walkout of practice because Sachs wanted us to make 100 straight layups. This was in the playoffs. I think it was before we played Poughkeepsie in Marist College. So what happened was, and some people probably don't know this, Section 1, every year, one section gets a bye in the playoffs.
Right.
And that bye usually comes after you win your sectional game, your sectional championship. You'll get a bye, an automatic bye to the regional championship. We didn't realize. When we was playing a regional championship game, nobody told us there was the regional championship game.
It was made like a big deal, so you guys had no idea.
We had no idea, bro. It was against Binghamton at Marist College.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so we had some rough practices leading up to that. They took us up to RCC to practice a few days at the RCC court because that court was bigger.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Than what we were used to, because now we're going to Marist College. It's going to be a bigger court.
Yeah.
So, college regulation. So, we practiced up there, but we had no clue. I don't know if anybody else, I'll speak for myself.
Right.
I had no clue we were winning. Matter of fact, I know nobody else knew. I know for a fact nobody else knew. Because when the confetti started coming down and people was cheering and they started doing the trophy presentation, we didn't realize that they was doing the trophy presentation that we had just won the regionals.
You're like, man, what?
Like, what?
How's that even possible? Coach never.
Yeah, I'm wondering, like, what's all this fanfare? Like, why we all right? We just went to the next round. Why is everybody bugging?
Right.
Well, the next round was you going up to Glens Falls.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's how it went, man. Unfortunately, we just lost focus, man. We lost to a team that we should not have lost to. We shot. Oh man, I want to say 19% from the free throw line.
Wow. Can't win like that.
And something like 30% from the free field goal or something stupid. And we still only lost by 11 points, bro.
Wow.
We lost by 11 points.
Technically, you guys should have won. You make all those free throws, right? And shoot better from the field. You're walking out of there.
Let me tell you something. We were not focused. And it's our own fault. You know what I'm saying? Collectively, it's our own fault. But we was in jacuzzis in the hotel the night before the game. In the pool, in the jacuzzi. So by the time we had our practice in the morning and then the game in the afternoon, our legs was dead.
Right.
We was not ourselves. We should have at least won that game. The championship game would have been, because the championship game has some trees. I got a 6'8", 6'7", 6'4" guard that jump out the gym.
Yeah.
Like they beat Henninger. It was McQuaid Jesuit. I think they're out of Rochester. Okay. That's who won the state championship that year because they beat us and then they beat Henninger out of Syracuse, who had a kid that went to play, Maurice Brown, that went to play for Syracuse, and they beat them. But guess who was in the pool with us that night? Maurice Brown and Henninger. They was in the pool with us that night.
They was focused though. They was focused.
They was in the pool with us, and the two teams that was playing around in the hotels,
right,
swimming and in the jacuzzi. Right. Those are the two teams that lost. The two teams that you didn't see, those are the two teams that won. And McQuaid took the whole thing. But I remember McQuaid, the game we was watching that game, and cool story. So Paul Suber was real good with Elton Brand. Like he used to travel with Elton, take him down to the city for Riverside Church. But he actually came to see us play, you know what I'm saying, because of Paul. So he had drove up to Glens Falls. So we was watching that first game. We watched McQuaid go down 3 straight possessions and throw backdoor alley-oops to their guard from the top of the key. From the top of the key, bro. Backdoor alley-oops to their guard from the top of the key.
Wow.
3 straight possessions. Not fast breaks either. Like set play possessions.
Wow.
Like, so they would have been, if we was on our game, though, we would have gave them a game. I don't know if we would have won, we would have gave them a game. For sure. But yeah, it sucked that we lost that because we really could have won. Hempstead's best player was what's this dude's name? He could jump out there. Tavares Bell.
Okay.
You remember that dunk? That Tom Chambers did on
Chambers. Yeah, I remember that Tom Chambers.
Who did you do that on? Mark Jackson? Who did you do that on? Mark Jackson, right?
Jackson. Tom was on Phoenix, right? I believe
Tom was on Phoenix.
Yeah, I could look at that on YouTube.
I don't know who he did that on, but whoever he did that double pump on, I seen Tavares Bell do that in a tournament at the CYP gym, legendary CYP gym in Poughkeepsie, New York. Man, this gym was legendary, bro. No standing room, no room to sit on the bench on the sidelines. Like, as soon as you step out of bounds, you hit a wall. But I watched this dude do that on somebody in that gym. Like, that's how this dude can jump. Crazy. He ended up playing at Rhode Island. But he was only like 6'4".
6'4".
He wasn't. Yeah, he wasn't a shooter. He didn't really have ball handling skills like that. He was just an athlete out of this world. Wasn't a great shooter. Wasn't a great ball handler. And he didn't even really kill us. He almost dunked on me. Like Rasheen said to this day, he's like, "Yo, you crazy, yo, you wilding." But like, listen, bro, I wanted to win. We just didn't have the legs to win. So I went up against. Luckily, he ain't dunk. He missed the dunk. I definitely went up and challenged him. And I just told you I wasn't dunking. So I'm going up against a dude that could really jump. Right. You know what I'm saying? I fouled him. You know? Yeah. He didn't get the dunk on me.
He didn't get a dunk on you.
He didn't get the dunk on me, bro.
What a run that was. That team, special, special. What do you miss most about that team, those guys, man?
Ah man, I just miss the camaraderie, man. I miss playing. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying? I miss being on the team. You know what I'm saying? You talking to somebody that from a very early age started playing sports and was always on teams, and
right.
I always had aspirations of playing professionally. Like, bro, I had it. Like, I just knew that I was going pro in something.
Yeah,
Now, as far as basketball, by the time I was in 10th grade, especially by the end of my 10th grade year, basketball was like, bro, you 6 foot. You still like small, playing a small forward, power
yeah,
forward. Like, bro, you are not this basketball's not gonna be the thing. Now, football was still a shot. You know what I'm
right,
saying?
right,
So still had some small dreams of doing it in football.
right.
But just didn't get the grades to put myself in a position. You know what I'm saying? So like
Yeah,
if I had to look back and say like I wish I would have taken school more serious,
yeah.
and just made sure I got better grades. Because if I had good grades, bro, I would have went to one of these schools
Right,
like Marist.
right.
Like we had people go to some dudes. I can't speak for nobody else, but if I would have had that opportunity, bro, I know. I just know. Because that's just, what I'm saying. I went and played 2 years of Division III basketball at Johnson Wells University. And by my sophomore year, I was starting and a captain on the team.
Wow.
So, you know, unfortunately or fortunately, what I'm saying, I ended up having my son going into my junior year. And I was like, not playing no
Yeah,
basketball. Like,
yeah,
yeah, I
yeah.
love basketball, but I got
Right.
responsibilities now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I walked on the team. D3 don't give scholarships, but they still scout.
Okay.
They can give academic scholarships. They can't give athletic scholarships.
Athletic
Um,
scholarships. Gotcha.
but I walked on the team, man. Walked
That's
on
crazy.
and got great playing time coming off. Matter of fact, I got a plaque for most improved player my freshman year. Then, like I said, my sophomore year, I was a starter.
Right.
Um, leading scorer. I mean, we had a tough schedule, and we didn't have the greatest of teams, but we got some wins against the teams that we didn't beat in the past. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? And but we will only have like 2 wins. We end up with like 11, 12, 13 wins, something like that. My sophomore year. I wish I would have finished that out. You know what I'm saying? I kind of regret not being able to finish that situation out, but I don't regret being a good father and
Yeah,
understanding that, I'm out of college to freaking play ball. Like I got a kid now. Like
yeah.
all this finito. Got to
And
do
it's
what I got
all
to do.
done. You have any injuries in basketball injuries back in high school?
Not basketball, but football.
Football, yeah, there's some injuries.
So what happened was my junior year. We was in practice and Odie, Omar Morales. Shout out to Omar. Omar was tackling me on a. We was doing some type of. We were scrimmaging, I think, and he tackled me and like I I felt like it was over, but he kind of like was still holding on to my leg, and I think I tried to like pull my foot out from his grasp,
Right.
and my leg locked up in the bent position, like
Oh,
bent. Like my knee
right.
was bent, my leg was bent like that, and we couldn't straighten it. Like Smitty had to eventually force my
Force it
left
out.
knee, and you heard it snap.
Oof. Wow.
It blew up. Now this is like double sessions during, what I'm saying, junior year.
Junior
It
year.
blew up. I went and got it drained. Yo, that needle was so big. I never seen a needle so big in a syringe. The
Yeah.
syringe was like this big, bro. This
Man,
big,
man.
that
Wow.
like that long. The doctor took fluid out.
Out of your knee. Yeah.
So much fluid. So I had to straight leg my knee for like 3 weeks, 4 weeks. I end up making the first game
Uh-huh.
I played. I didn't play in the green and gold game.
Right.
I didn't play. I didn't junior year. I did not scrimmage in the green and gold game. It was tough because I didn't know if I was going to end up still starting. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But I did end up starting at fullback. But that was my only major injury in high school was my knee. And how bad my knee is now. Right now I'm bone on bone, bro.
Right
So
now.
looking back, yeah, on my left knee and arthritis. I've had it scoped 3 times for torn meniscus. So what happened was
Wow.
I'm sure the meniscus tore. When your knee locks like that, that means a piece of the meniscus gets stuck in between the joint.
Oh, okay,
It
gotcha.
gets caught,
That's
and
caught.
that's
Yeah.
what causes it to lock. So I had torn meniscus, bro, junior year.
Wow.
I just straight legged it. She put me in a straight leg cast, soft cast, you know what I'm saying? Straight legged it for like 3 weeks and then got back. So I played junior year football, junior year basketball, senior year football, senior year basketball. I didn't have another problem with my knee until college. And it was
Wow.
after my sophomore season. We were out on blacktop playing pickup, and I came home and my knee that blew up.
Blew up.
And then that summer I ended up getting my first scope. So that kind of led to me not playing basketball too, because I had just got my knee scope.
Knee scope, yeah.
That was the first time.
What's your favorite basketball movie of all time? What do you got?
Oh man, if I had off the top of my head, I probably have to say Love and Basketball.
Love and Basketball. Yeah.
Love and Basketball was dope, man. Coach Carter is dope.
Yeah.
You know, between those two off the top of my head, but really any basketball movie.
Any basketball movie, you're down. You ever got a technical in basketball? Any techs in basketball back in the day?
Well, I was the worst.
Rasheed Wallace?
Yeah, I was the worst. Well, listen, they didn't put they don't put up with that stuff scholastically, right? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I realized I was the worst because when it came to basketball tournaments and stuff, bro, I stayed, especially as I got older. And it really started, the anger towards refs and games really started in college. We was at Albertus Magnus College in Connecticut.
Right.
And it was the conference tournament my sophomore year, the last year I played. My coach got ejected for getting into it with the refs because they was treating us bad, man. You know how sometimes the Florida game, you just feel like the refs ain't giving you nothing and they taking everything away from you.
Yeah.
So he got kicked out. He got tossed.
Right.
Well, guess who was right behind him?
Me. Right behind him.
I got tossed. Man. So I think if I'd have came back to basketball, I'd probably have been suspended anyway because I cursed that ref from Connecticut to goddamn New Jersey. Bro, I cursed him out so bad, bro. Man. And then they kicked me off the court. I was bad. So then that carried on to like adult leagues and tournaments. Like, I don't really get along with refs, man. It's wrong because they got a tough job to do. But sometimes I just felt like, bro, like, what are you watching? You know what I'm saying? Right. Like, you can't, like, I feel like some of this shit is egregious. And then, like, you just can't help it but think that they trying to get back because they'll tell you sometimes, like, you shut up. That call. Yeah. Or sometimes they'll tell you I missed that. You know what I'm saying? But they talk to you is my point. So then if you could actually get into it with a ref, and then you done got into it with him, and then he calls a foul on you, can't help but think it's personal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So But in high school, never got into it with no refs.
No refs. Yeah.
Even most of college didn't really get into it with him until that game. That game was the catalyst.
That was it.
That was it, bro. I was like a nutcase when it came to refs after that. Like tournaments and stuff in the summer.
Forget it.
Like a head case. Rasheed Wallace, like you said.
So you're a late bloomer, right? This whole football thing. You wanted to be a running back. How was that like, man? How did you get into football? You wore number 44 because of John Harvey, right? UTEP, Aaron Jones, UTEP as well. Then you switched it up to number 24 in the sophomore year.
So sorry to cut you off. So actually, I wore 44 not because of John Harvey, but because of the guy that broke his all-time record. So the guy that broke his all-time record was from Nyack. His name was Jermaine Harris. He wore number 44. So like if you grew up in Spring Valley and you went to Spring Valley High School and you played ball, there's no way you didn't go by that gym. There was two things you saw in that gym or outside that gym. Mm-hmm. And it was the big mural painting of Seth Joyner.
Right.
And then in the trophy cases was John Harvey's jersey, football, and some other stuff and pictures. You know what I'm saying? That's how I even found out he went to the UTEP because he had a picture sitting there. So Jermaine Harris actually broke the all-time leading record just before we got in high school. He was like two or 3 years ahead of us. Like he was like 2 or 3 years ahead of us. Maybe 3. I think he was like he might have broke that record like 93. between 93, 94, or something like that. But he played at Nyack. He wore number 44. I read the article in the paper because I never saw him play live. But I was like,
Inspired.
Yeah, I was inspired. I was like, that 44 hit hard. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, I want to be a back. I like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna rock that. You know what I'm saying? And so I just started rocking it, man. I rocked it, once I got an opportunity to be a running back, and like you said, a late bloomer. And a lot of running backs took this path. It's not nothing new. But I was on the line. I played offensive line, offensive, defensive line. Because I didn't start playing football until Pee-wees. Well, a lot of these guys played as midgets, you know what I'm saying? Like younger kids. I didn't start playing as a Pee-wee. And I was always younger, but a little heavier.
Right.
But played Pee-wees, played offensive line. Then I think I played 3 or 4 years of Pop. I didn't play as many years as most people play. Okay. I only played like 3 or 4 years of Pop Warner, and only one of those years was our running back, and that was the last year I played as an 8th grader on the midgets team. So the littler teams is called Mighty Mites. Yeah, Mighty Mites.
Mighty Mites.
Junior Pee-wees. You know what I'm saying? Pee-wees. Yeah, and then I think midgets might have been next, but the midgets was the older team. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So I was in 8th grade, and I finally got a chance to tote the rock. And that was in part due to God rest his soul, Winifred, Fred Michelle. I don't know if you knew Fred, but Fred Michelle, he was a staple in the community as a coach.
As a coach as well,
for years, man. He just passed away this past year. That was a tough one for the community, man.
Yeah, sure.
And but he gave me my opportunity to run the rock.
And your sophomore year, you had 3 touchdowns, right? You were doing it, man.
Yeah, sophomore year, I was on JV the first 2 games.
Right.
Putting in that work, boy. But leading into that, I did myself dirty because I was a halfback, and leading into that, going into Ramapo as a sophomore, going into double sessions, I when they set the groups apart, I went to the fullback group.
Okay.
It was me being too smart for my own good. I looked at the group of fullbacks. I said most of them might be stronger than me, but they're not better athletes. Okay. You put the ball in their hand, they can't do what I could do with the ball in my hand. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's why I picked being a fullback. So I sold myself short. I should have went with halfbacks because I was a halfback. You know what I'm saying?
The original position was a halfback, yeah.
Yeah, but I did it to myself. I outsmarted myself. I literally did. I think back to it. I'm like, bro, what was you doing? You know what I'm saying? Like I just looked at it. I'm like, I didn't think I would be out of fair shape. You know what I'm saying? We had the twins. You know what I'm saying? Pat and Perry. You had Damian DaCosta was a senior. You had Ed Bell was Ed was a junior. Yeah, Ed was a junior, and then James Floyd was a junior. James got jerked his whole career though. James ended up playing as a junior. He'd been playing the whole year at JV. I was his fullback. He was the starting halfback on JV.
Wow.
I played those 2 games. Yeah, I was bro, had 3 touchdowns in 2 games.
Yeah. Doing it.
Things was looking up, bro.
Then you got bench sophomore year trying to play varsity. Junior year, you were 25. You guys are 5-0 junior year, right? 3-game losing streak. Roosevelt, humbling experience. How good were those guys though, Roosevelt? Those guys are pretty damn good, right?
They were the eventual state champions that year.
Man.
And on that team they had a good amount of like juniors.
So they were stacked. They were stacked. Yeah, they were stacked.
I think the kid's name was Jimmy Kennedy. He was a defensive tackle and defensive offensive lineman. He ended up going to Penn State, bro.
Well, we know that.
Matter of fact, I think he might have won a Super Bowl with the Rams.
Wow.
Jimmy Kennedy. Look him up.
Jimmy Kennedy. Yeah, I gotta look him up. Jimmy
Kennedy from Yonkers, New York. He played at Roosevelt High School. I think bro, we was 5-0 going into that game. We was ranked in the state. Listen, this is why I went to Ramapo.
Yeah.
Because I saw those Pomona teams
To play the best of the best. Yeah.
real rec shop in the county. I'm like, yo, there ain't no way that we ain't gonna get busy, especially by the time at least we seniors. But I knew we had stuff for the junior year.
Right.
Like I just like even my sophomore year, we was 5-3. I don't think we started off 5-0 the way we did my junior year.
Right.
But yeah, 5-0, and then we ran into a buzzsaw, bro. Went out to Roosevelt, and we had just spanked New Rochelle the same way. We spanked New
coming
Rochelle
off. Yeah.
42-0 at home. That was my best high school game.
Wow.
That was my only high school multiple touchdown game.
Yeah, I read that. Yeah, I read that. Yeah.
That was my most against New Rochelle, bro. I had almost 150 yards or something, 2 touchdowns.
And then it was that crazy. Then it was that crazy TKR game, right? You guys lost for 9-8, 3 kick field goals, 3 field goals to beat you guys. 9-8. Imagine that.
Shout out to Darren Graves.
Darren, he was on that team.
Darren was a beast on that my junior year.
Yeah.
Darren was an absolute animal, unstoppable on the D line.
Man, Darren.
But Darren got a costly penalty, man. He got a personal foul, hit a dude out of bounds.
Oh, 15 yards.
And that helped put them in field goal
range. Field goal range to kick that field goal to win 9-8.
Third field goal. As a matter of fact, I scored the 2-point conversion. I think Ed Bell scored the touchdown because all we did was sweep him to death. Sweep right, sweep left. Sweep right, sweep left. Me leading the block for Ed, and then we did a flood on the 2-point conversion. I caught that. You know what I'm saying? And we was up 8 whatever. You know what I'm saying? And they kicked 3 freaking field goals, one coming late in the fourth quarter.
That's crazy.
Matter of fact, probably with like no time left in the fourth quarter. It was like, and a part of it was because of that 15-yard penalty.
That penalty put them in field goal range.
Yeah. I think they still had to run the ball a couple of times, but they wore our defense out. I don't know if you know North Rockland back in the day was straight power eye.
Everything. Yeah.
Straight power eye, down your throat. 2 yards, 4 yards, 3 yards, 2 yards, 4 yards, 5 yards, 6 yards. Like they just pounded until they beat you. Until they beat you into submission. You was tired. And our defensive line was literally hands on their hips and like dead.
Tired. Was that the toughest opponent back in the day? North Rockland playing them? Spring Valley, North Rockland suffering?
Yeah, North Rockland was actually good in basketball too.
Okay.
They just couldn't beat us.
Right.
Well, we didn't lose a game in the county in 2 years, from junior year to
senior year.
Senior
never lost
year,
in the county,
except to Spring Valley. Never lost to Suffering. Never lost to. Well, I'm talking about junior. So sophomore year, we probably lost to. I know we lost to Spring Valley. I mean North Rockland. North Rockland was the best team in the county my sophomore year in basketball.
Okay.
So that goes to show you, like North Rockland was always competitive, but they were good. They just couldn't beat us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Guys. Yeah.
They were in football. They were definitely them in Spring Valley.
Okay. Toughest
who we lost to 8-0 on a damn punt return my senior year.
Man.
And my senior year we were decimated, bro.
Yeah, like you said, senior year, you guys lost a lot of guys, right? Bad grades, guys didn't want to play no more, about 11 guys. It was a hard, tough battle. Suspension of grades, all this stuff happened, just like a snowball effect, right? That senior year.
We started so many sophomores that just shouldn't have been starting. They should have not been starting, but they had to.
They had to because you guys were decimated, right? 11 guys out.
Listen, shout out to Atiba Taylor, one of the greatest running backs to come out of Ramapo. Listen, T, if you see this, if I would have played in that offense, he got to play in the wing T. And the wing T, the fullback is the focal point of the offense. Everything goes through the fullback and the wing T. But anyway, T as a sophomore ended up playing some quarterback when we got spanked by Middletown in a muddy rain game at Ramapo. He ended up playing some quarterback. Now at a sophomore, he was not even a quarterback, he was a halfback. He ended up playing some quarterback because John was hurt already and gone for the year. Perry played quarterback that year. T played a little bit that one game. He ain't played no more after that game because he got demolished. I thought about it, but I was like, I'm not doing that. Play where I'm at. they can figure it out. You know what I'm saying? We have Ronald. Shout out to Ronald. Ronald played. He was the backup quarterback. You know what I'm saying? But he was only a sophomore too, I think.
Wow, a lot of guys out of position. A lot of things happen.
Yeah, a lot of guys out of positions. You
How
know,
tough was that on you personally? Was that tough for you personally? Like,
yeah, that's
seeing all these
just
things happening.
that shit sucked, man. And it was because we had so much promise, bro.
Yeah.
It was our first year under there was a lot of stuff going on, bro. It was our first year being coached
Coaching?
by Coach Vitola.
Okay.
Vitola had came up from Pomona to coach.
Okay.
Before that it was Mr. Woods. Shout out to Mr. Woods, Robbie Woods. You want to talk about a Rockland legend?
Yeah.
Look up Robbie Woods.
Yeah. Mr. Woods.
Bro scored like 60 points in a game in basketball before in high school at Nyack.
Yeah, Robbie Woods. I haven't heard that name in a long time. Man.
60-point. He had like a 60-point game, and he had like a 5-touchdown game. Man. Where he caught 4 touchdowns, I think threw 4 touchdowns, and ran for 1, and then maybe like a punt return or something crazy. So he was an insane athlete in high school. Beast. Shout out to Robbie Woods.
Beast, yeah.
But yeah, Woods was our coach, and we lost a lot of the cohesiveness with that going on. Switching over to Vitola. I think if Vitola would have had all of the pieces that he had at Pomona, like without all these guys getting suspended and stuff, I think we would have been in a better situation. But he had kids that he had on his team last year coming from Pomona. You can't just come up and do that on varsity level.
It's a different ball game.
Different beast.
Yeah, different beast.
Different beast. So that sucked, man. We went 2-6. It really hurt. The only thing that helped that season was the fact that we won in basketball. That we did.
Yeah, that was my next question. So basketball was the highlight that kind of like helped make up for the disappointing season that football had, right? Basically,
it did. It took some of the sting out of it.
Yeah, for sure.
And even like myself and Rasheen, I think it was had a I don't know if John was at this particular interview. No, I don't think he was. I think it was me and Rasheen, a TKR interview. They even brought it up. The fact that we were promising in football. Like we were supposed to have the same type of year we had in basketball. We were supposed to have the same type of year in football.
Football, yeah.
But we just lost so many guys to grades. Like so many guys to grades, and so many guys. Like I'm shout out again to Lenny. Like Lenny should have played football. He knows this. You know what I'm saying? He knows he should have played. Looking back, you know what I'm saying? Lenny was a good quarterback, great defensive back, whether it was cornerback or safety. He was just a football player, and we missed that. Then we had kids that didn't play football that should have played, like cats like Rasheen. Rasheen was a crazy athlete at 5'9.5", whatever he is. Extremely good athlete. But then we had, you know what I'm saying, Lamar Smith, God rest his soul. I can't really remember Lamar's situation. Lamar had a tough. Lamar grew up on the hill too, on Ewing. Lamar had a tough upbringing, so I don't know if he had to work or what his situation was. But he didn't play senior year.
Wow.
Lamar, I don't know if you know Lamar like that, but Lamar was a good offensive lineman. Lamar was a beast. Like on them Pomona teams,
right?
Lamar was a part of LS. Like,
wow.
Yeah.
Shed some light on him. How cool were you guys, you and Lamar? He passed away, God rest his soul, right? How'd that mess you up a little bit?
It did. I mean, we wasn't close as adults like that.
Okay.
But like as kids, man, me, him, and shout out to Kareem, Richie Harding. You might not know him because he moved back and forth between Rockland and Queens. Like he went to Pomona for a little bit. But matter of fact, I don't know if he did any schooling at all at Ramapo. He might have, but he was back and forth between Spring Valley and Queens. But me, him, Lamar, and then Harold Dennis. Shout out to Harold. We used to hang out a lot, man. Like, it's just a cool dude. Spent so much time, you know what I'm saying? Summers, just hang, because we never went to school together until Ramapo. But definitely like summers, like hanging out, you know what I'm saying, on the hill. It was a sad, man. I think his sister Tanisha had passed away. If I'm not mistaken. I hope I'm not mistaken, but I think she had passed away. I don't think I'm mistaken. She had passed away years before him, like years. But I know that was tough on him because they were close.
They were close, yeah.
They were close.
God rest their souls, man.
It's sad, man, because you don't know how much time you have here, man. You know.
Yeah, for sure. Who hit the hardest back in those teams, man? Any concussions you had?
Chucho.
He hit
Chucho
the
was
hardest.
the hardest hitter.
Ruben. Wow.
Yeah. Shout out to Ruben Negron, Chucho.
Yeah,
That's,
shout out
that's
to
another
him,
new
man.
nickname. But
Another
Chucho had that nickname since boom. Chucho grew up right behind the hill on 244. Which is
Wow.
like growing up on 244 is like growing up on the hill.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, we like so before they built some buildings, there used to be a path through a little wooded area that you walk through the path to get
Right.
you
To
know
get
what
to
I'm
where you
saying?
get to. Yeah,
Yeah, that was one scary path, bro.
yeah.
Crackheads used to be in there. Like,
Stand up to bullies, man. Stand up to bullies, man.
yeah,
That's
man, that
it.
shit was bad. But yeah, shout out to Ruben. He was probably the hardest hitter. The toughest to block on that team my senior year was Cohane. Shout out to Cohane,
Yeah.
Cohane Reynolds.
Big
Cohane
dude.
was
Yeah.
a beast, bro.
Yeah, he was a beast. He was.
And Cohane never played football. You know what
Wow.
I'm saying?
Just naturally gifted.
Football was new to Cohane.
Wow.
He didn't play. You coming out of Jamaica? He didn't play no football, man.
Right,
He
right.
played soccer, man.
Soccer and cricket. Yeah.
So shout out to Cohane. That was my dude too, Cohane.
Yeah, Cohane.
I haven't seen or spoke to him in years.
I haven't either. Yeah.
After high school though, he bulked up though. Cohane had got
He was
big.
like this. Yeah,
Yeah,
big
he was a
dude,
monster.
man. Yeah, he's a monster.
But
He's on Facebook every now and then. I see him a little bit.
Yeah, he played nose tackle.
Okay.
Yo, he was a beast.
Yeah, he's a beast. Yeah.
He was nice.
Yeah.
Him and Earl. Oh my God, what's Earl's last name? Earl Shields.
Earl Shields, yes, glasses, smart dude. Yes.
Earl was so. You want to talk about the toughest dude on the team?
Really?
Toughest dude on the team was Earl.
Wow.
Straight up. Wow. Earl was tough as nails. Tough as they come.
Wow.
And that wrestling gave him that base. Like couldn't push Earl around.
Right.
He was tough. He wasn't the best athlete,
right.
But Earl was tough, man. And he was just always about his business. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But hardest hitters was probably Chucho and tough dudes. Like I said, Cohane and doggone Earl. Gary, unfortunately, Gary Moyes was one of those casualties to grades.
Right.
You know, no disrespect to Gary. I love him. I'm a little mad at him because Gary was about to be our tight end and our defensive end, and he was nice at both, and we missed that. Like we got jerked our senior year, man. We got jerked for these cats not being able to play. Omar couldn't play. Omar was a great backup quarterback, safety. Like Omar would have been a number 2 quarterback. Then if John went down, Omar would have been okay.
Wow.
But John went down, and we had to put sophomores in. You know, we had to put no experience in.
Just a mess all around.
I know I'm missing some guys. Shout out to my teammates, man.
For sure. What kind of music you listened to back then before a game? Any music you listened to? Hype yourself up? What kind of music you listened to back then?
I can't remember exactly, to be honest with you. Oh, I'll tell you this. So I don't even know if I know the name of this song, but the Pomona Cats, Chucho and them, they put me on the Welcome to the Jungle.
Welcome to the Jungle.
So if you ever seen, I don't know if you ever got a chance to see their freshman year, their highlight tape. It was playing Welcome to the Jungle.
I've never seen that. I don't know who has that tape, but
I hated watching them put in all that work.
Yeah. Welcome to the Jungle. Yeah.
So they used to play that. Obviously your rap. I can't remember what was popping back then. I'll be honest with you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. Did you get taped up as well, like from basketball, football, taped up?
Ankles. Yep.
Ankles.
Just ankles. And actually football wrist too.
Football was wrist and ankles. Okay.
Yeah,
basketball
wrist
was
and
ankles. Who was the biggest trash talk on the football team?
Ooh, man. I don't know, man. I mean, it was just some real bad blood when it came to football, bro.
Okay.
So like my sophomore year, like they hated us. The seniors,
right?
They couldn't, and the junior, they couldn't stand us.
Really? So you guys hated each other? Own teammates hated each other?
Yeah, man. Like, so if you want to go, the hardest hitter I played with in high school was Meg James.
Meg. Okay. Meg
James, hands down, The hardest hitter I ever hit against.
Man. Yeah,
Yes.
But
it was bad blood, man. It was bad. Like my senior year, it was a little different because it was just the seniors, me, John, Pat, Perry, and then you had all these bunch of young cats.
Right.
And shout out to Darrell Bolt.
Darrell Bolt, yeah, Darrell Bolt. Okay.
Best tackler I have ever played with. Period.
Darrell was nice, man. Short dude, like very like I think he liked the Niners back in the day. Niner big.
Yeah, he did. You know him well.
Yeah, he married Patricia, right? His wife Patricia.
Ronnie Lott. I think he wore number 42 for Ronnie Lott.
He did, yeah. Patricia, married Patricia. Yeah. Darrell Bolt, best tackler, huh?
Yeah, best tackler. Wow. Best tackler I ever played with in football.
Wow.
Between him and Rasheed Evans. But Darrell, for his size, was a great form tackler.
Wow.
Like I'm gonna put Pat out there. He slammed because we was in Kakiak together.
Right.
He slammed Pat at Kakiak, yo.
What?
He picked Pat up. Boom. Yeah.
Wow. That's cool.
Shout out to Darrell Bolt.
Shout out to Darrell, man. And Patricia.
Yeah, he was the best. He was the best tackler, man. Although Darrell got pissed at me towards the end of the year, he said I stiffed on him, and I was stiff on him too hard in practice. But I was like, yo, D, what you want me to do? I know D. You know what I'm saying? I know you can tackle, bro.
Right.
I'm not gonna let you get to my body.
Right.
Because I know who you are. You forget I played with you.
Exactly.
For how long? I've been playing with you since. Matter of fact, we go back to Pop Warner, me and Darrell.
Was that your most favorite play, unforgettable play ever? That stiff arm?
No, because that was in practice.
That was practice. That don't really count.
That was practice.
Okay.
I got a couple unforgettable plays, but
you got a punt return, right? A punt return. You took it to the house, right? That punt return you took to the house.
Well, I had an interception.
Okay.
That I took 90-something yards, but that got called back. Then and that was at Kakiak. That was against one of the. I can't keep up with the Clarkstowns with the whole Philly Chester.
North, south, a lot of them. Yeah,
I can keep up with them in high school because it's just north and south.
Right.
But when it was middle school, they had too much going on. But anyway, had an interception return against them. But my punt return for a touchdown was the first year I played running back at Pop Warner.
Okay.
I had a punt return, and
back to the house.
I should have had 2 in high school.
Yeah,
Range that, bro.
Yeah.
Yo, I literally tried to run the last man over. The first time was against North Rockland.
Right.
Like 60, 70-yard punt return. One man to beat, the punter.
He tackled you.
I tackled him. The ball. Because I was being so stupid trying to run through him. And all I had to do was make a move. One move. He was gonna bite. He didn't want to make that tackle.
Right. He didn't want that.
And then against Spring Valley, I had one man to beat, Rashad Wilson. Shout out to Rashad. Rashad, he was a junior that year. Rashad ended up playing his next year on that great Spring Valley team that made that same type of similar run that we made in basketball.
Yep.
Next year they did the same thing in football. But yeah, I should have made a move on Rashad.
Right.
No disrespect, Rashad. You ain't want. I just saw Rashad at my cousin's wedding a couple months ago. But I could have made a move on Rashad. I didn't. Yeah. He made the tackle though. He stood his ground. He made the tackle. But it was more like getting tripped up on both plays because I'm trying to literally run through somebody.
He tripped you up. Yeah.
It's stupid.
What team you had the most fun playing against? What team you hated the most playing against?
Football was Spring Valley.
Hated
them in football, hated them in basketball. Just hated them. Couldn't stand them.
Altogether.
North Rockland was the most fun football games. North Rockland brought out the best in us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because it was North Rockland, right? You know what I'm saying?
You were good at everything.
Yeah, and they had, for as far as football goes, they had, I don't know if you know this, I don't know how many people do know this, but North Rockland won in class, well, at the time it was Class A. Now it's Double A, and they might even change it to more since, but the big schools was Class A in high school. So North Rockland won the first ever Class A big school state championship in football back in '92 or whatever it was,
Back
'93.
then.
It had to be '93.
I feel like they were always good in sports though overall.
Yeah, they're always good at sport, but their football teams are legendary.
Yeah, legendary.
Like,
For sure.
you know, their football teams are legendary. Like I almost idolized them because like as a young man watching football, young kid, like I remember one of their running backs, Derek. Well, he was Derek Owens when he was in high school, but Derek Owens from North Rockland, he went to college. He played at Alabama.
Okay.
In fact, he was on the national championship team that beat Miami in like '92 or something like
92.
that.
Wow.
Whatever, '93, '94. I don't remember the year, but they beat Miami in the national championship. He played 1 year with the Cowboys. Matter of fact, it's crazy because right after he won that national championship, he got a Super Bowl ring with the Cowboys.
Wow, 95. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. But North Rockland has so many good players, bro. Like back in the early '80s, like they had like this dude like named Breckerbill. I think that's how you pronounce his name. But he was like the best. He got Mr. Football in New York State.
Wow. Yeah, they were
So that just tells you. But New York State did not have state championships in football until the early '90s.
Until the early '90s.
Until the early '90s, and North Rockland won the very first state championship.
Wow.
It was the year before. It was the year before we came into sophomore year. They won the state championship, and that was the first ever New York State championship for football. They only had bowl games, and New York was behind the times.
Yeah,
way behind the times. Like I don't even understand how they didn't have state championship games.
Yeah, New York, especially, right?
Yeah,
makes sense. Yeah, it makes no sense.
Like it took to like right before the season before we got into high school, like they had their first state tournament for football. Wow. It's insane when you think about that, bro.
Yeah, football's key now, though. Football's everywhere now.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
Amazing where football's come. Any concussions in high school? The hardest hit you ever had suffered?
The hardest hit I ever suffered was senior year. It was a scrimmage.
Okay.
Shout out to Scarpula, Chuck Scarpula. You remember Chuck? He was our AD.
Yeah.
He was our athletic director. Well, Chuck is rich in history when it comes to Rockland County.
Oh, for sure.
Shout out to him, man. God rest his soul. He passed away of cancer. It's got to be like going on 2-3 years now.
Okay.
Cool. I actually got to speak to him because him and my uncle, he coached my uncle, and they were close. So I got to speak to him before he passed. That was awesome. Because Chuck was there through our run in '97 because he was our AD. So like even on our plaque, we got a plaque with a picture with all the basketball scores and the whole team. And he's in that picture. But so I brought up Chuck because Mr. Scarpula, hard-nosed, back in the day, old school coach.
Yep.
He sees me getting ready getting dressed before the scrimmage against Monroe. I think it was Monroe Woodbury. And he sees the rib pads I'm putting on. He's like, "You're a running back, right? Like, how you moving those big rib pads? Take that off, man. You don't need that." So I'm like, all right, this is Chuck. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna listen to Chuck.
Yeah.
Bro. I went out there. I don't know how deep into the scrimmage it was, but I know I got the rock, came through the hole, try to wiggle on somebody. And you know, back in the day, you used to throw that wiggle up. Now my arm got in the air, but this dude speared me right in my ribs. Top of his helmet.
Wow.
Right in my ribs, bro. I could not breathe. I didn't think I would ever breathe again. I was awake and conscious, but I just could not catch my breath. Then once I finally was able to catch my breath, I had rib contusion. The ride home back to Rockland felt like days.
Pain. Yeah.
You only talking about going from like Monroe Woodbury. You know what I'm saying? Where Monroe the Woodbury Commons.
Woodbury Commons, yeah. About 45 minutes an hour from Rockland. Yeah.
Yeah, bro, that was the ride. And it felt like the longest ride ever because every single bump. I mean, we could hit a pebble in the road and I would have felt
it. You felt it, yeah.
That was the worst. Yeah, that was the worst.
Yeah.
It took a couple of weeks for that thing to heal up too. Like I almost didn't think I was gonna play the first game.
Wow. That's how
I
severe it
missed
was.
a number of practices dealing with that. It was bad, bro. I was
Yeah.
cursing Chuck. I said something to him. I ain't curse at him
You're
personally.
like,
But I
yeah.
said so. I was like, yo, you did me dirty. All right, listen to you no more, man. Yeah, that was the hardest I ever been hit, bro.
That's crazy.
I'm lucky. I'm lucky I didn't get a broken rib.
Yeah. Rib contusion. How'd you hype yourself up before a big game? What'd you do? Any rituals like compared to basketball? How'd you hype yourself up for football games?
Football, it was we had a tradition, man. I used to spend the night at Sean Lawson's house, man.
Really?
Um,
Sleepover?
yeah, yeah.
Wow.
For
Okay.
football games,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Because for one, you know what I'm saying, his pops, you know what I'm saying, was to make sure we ate some food the morning before. Yo, shout out to Mr. Lawson, man. Otis.
Oh
Shout out to
man.
Sean, his pops. Like,
Yeah.
yo, he took care of us, man. He made sure we would have a good meal. We used to go to the store and get these ginseng shots. Remember
Okay.
those little ginseng
Ginseng
shots?
shots. Yeah, I remember those.
Yeah,
I
little
remember those.
ginseng shot
Yeah.
had a little
Yeah.
straw with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to take like 2 or 3 ginseng shots before a football game. That was really it, man. Just makes got a
Right.
good breakfast in, got that dump out. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, gotta
You're
get
good
that
to
dump.
go.
Gotta get that dump.
It's just looking back, man. Just crazy. What would you do differently, man? Anything you would do differently about the football career? Just
Yeah, I just would have.
hindsight.
In hindsight, man, just would have took school more serious. You know, just really would have took school more serious, and just concentrate. Oh, I also would have played a third sport.
Okay. What would that be? Baseball? What would that be? Track and field, maybe?
It would have.
Soccer?
I just knew I should have played something, bro. I should have just not sat out a
Okay.
whole season. Like,
Just to keep the wheels turning. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a waste of time because it was idle time. At that time, I was just on demon time. Like after that, I just want to go home, trying to get up with shorties and just doing wasn't even getting my grades up. So I might as well have been playing a goddamn sport.
Something else.
I don't know. I don't know what I should have. It would have either been track or baseball. I mean, I didn't start thinking about golf and I don't even know what golf season is. But I ain't started playing golf until an adult. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Young adult started playing golf.
Right.
But it would have been either baseball or track. And it's funny because I had a teacher in elementary school, Mr. Tambini. No, it wasn't elementary. Yeah, it was elementary, but he was a coach at Cakiat.
Okay.
He taught us at Colton, but he was a coach. He was a baseball coach at Cakiat. Disappointed in Tambini, man. He should have got me into baseball.
Yeah.
But I guess, but he was at the special ed class.
Okay.
So I guess after that, he didn't want to deal with us knuckleheads. You know what I'm saying? Outside of school.
Right,
you know,
right, yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know if I would have been a good baseball player. I was all right playing stick ball. You know,
right.
I could catch. I could throw. I couldn't pitch because I couldn't even. I could throw a football good, but like as far as throwing the ball with velocity, like after a while, my shoulders start hurting. I don't know. It was always like that.
Yeah.
Definitely wouldn't have been no damn pitcher, but probably could have played outfield. I feel like I was pretty. I know I was athletic enough to play in the outfield.
Okay.
I don't know if I had the acumen to hit the ball well. You know, just never really gave it a try.
Yeah.
So that's one thing I would have changed. But I would have definitely took school more serious. You know, got the help that I needed because I'm just not a naturally book smart person. Like that shit don't come easy. Like some people like retain information that they hear and see. Like me, I gotta really study it.
Right.
And honestly, I can study it, but once I take the test,
goes right out. Yeah.
Some people like they photogenic memories. You know what I'm saying? Like that shit just comes and it sticks. Like it didn't stick. But I definitely figured out a way to get better grades in high school and definitely would have played a third sport, whether that been track or baseball or whatever.
Who was your favorite teacher back in high school? Any favorite teachers back then?
Nah, Miss Bashoff.
Miss Bashoff. Okay.
Remember Miss Bashoff?
Yeah, remember Miss Bashoff. Okay. Yeah.
I love
Miss Bashoff. Yeah. Miss Bashoff.
He was such a smart ass. Just a good lady, man, and she
Yeah.
just gave me good vibes. Just always gave me good vibes. Her, and then I had one of the high school office secretaries. Her name was Lorraine Kanabi, I think. I think that's how you pronounce her last. But she was always good to me since she followed me from Kakiak. She was working at Kakiak.
Right.
And I used to work in the office and do like the garbage in the office and do like little errands for them and stuff and do the recycling bin
Right.
and the recyclables for Kakiak. That was one of the things they did to keep my ass out of trouble.
Yeah.
But I love that lady, man. Such a
Yeah.
sweet lady. You know what I'm saying?
That's cool, man.
Her, Miss
Super cool.
Bashoff.
Yeah.
That's really it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Okay.
I personally didn't really have that many relationships with teachers like
Like
that.
teachers back then. Yeah. Any hardware laying around? Any kind of memorabilia from basketball, football you still got to this day? You keep jerseys, basketballs, clippings, anything you got laying around in the man cave?
I got a whole book of clippings, a
Really? You kept
whole
them?
photo album. Yeah, got a whole
Wow.
photo album of clippings. My trophies are in storage. Probably have up to probably like 50 trophies, and probably about 15 to 20 plaques, something like that.
But you kept.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. I got a couple of jerseys. I got I want to say I got two helmets. I got one from my sophomore year and I got one from my senior year.
Wow.
So our sophomore year, I got the Griffin. I got a helmet with the Griffin on
With the
it.
Griffin on it.
Remember that?
Wow.
Griffin?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I got from senior year, I got the helmet with the G, the Green Bay
With
G.
the Green Bay G. Wow. That's a classic, man.
Yeah, I got both of those. Yeah. They're
Wow.
they're all in storage.
All in storage down there by you living at.
In fact, I gotta move that stuff out of the storage unit.
Wow. That's
Trust it.
crazy. That's
Yeah,
pretty
yeah,
cool. You kept
I
those.
got our yearbook.
Still
I
got the
got a
yearbook?
yearbook.
Nice.
I mean, I try not to be too nostalgic, but I
Right.
got the yearbook and the scrapbook, I call it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's got pictures from Pop Warner through
Right.
all the way through high school. Any newspaper clippings. I was fortunate that I got quite a few pictures. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know. I guess I was photogenic. I
Yeah.
can't call it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But I got quite a couple of pictures. Like even when we won the Section 1 championship, I got a front page picture for the sports page. I got that picture. And it says Ramapo Class A champ or something like that. But yeah, I keep that stuff, man. Shit, I got our yearbook and that scrapbook in my small safe. Yeah.
Wow.
Just in
That's
case there's a
awesome.
fire or something,
Yeah, that's awesome,
I
man.
keep others' documents and stuff in there because in case there's a fire. So I'm like, you know what?
Yeah.
That's all I keep in the house. All the other stuff is in storage, so I'll put it in the safe.
Yeah.
That joint
That's
sits in a
it.
small safe.
That's it. So Johnson and Wales after high school, right? Johnson and Wales, 3.5 years. Then it was back to New York for 3 years, Albany 2010. And then 2013 to 2017 at the academy working at the state corrections. But you never really got down with stuff like that. It was kind of a rough patch in your life. What made you become a correction officer? How did that come about?
Having a family, I was married. I had
Okay.
spent the last 10, 11 years leading up to that, working with at-risk youth, starting out at Edwin Gould Academy. You know what I'm saying? Anybody from Rockland, Spring Valley know about Edwin Gould. I worked there for a number of years. Then Edwin Gould closed down. I went and worked at a number of different places in Westchester County,
Right.
uh, Children's Village, and a couple other places. So that kind of led to me thinking that corrections might not be a bad thing, but it basically was just having a family,
Right.
and feeling like I needed to do the best that I could to provide and get a good pension. You know what I'm saying? Retirement. It's another state, like a state job. That was basically it, bro. Just trying to do better.
Yeah. Right.
Trying to be the best person that I could be and take care of my responsibilities.
Right. So what was the first day like being there? Like it was like a culture shock to you, or just like, man, I'm doing this.
Well, going through academy was a breeze
Okay.
because I had went to the military out of high school. Straight
Right.
out of high school, I went. Me and Slim Columbus. We went to basic training together. We weren't. We were in the same company, but we weren't in the same platoon. He was in
Okay.
third platoon. I was in fourth platoon. But we
That's
saw
the
each
one
other.
you saw that Cat Williams actually bought that base, right? That military base, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Cat Williams actually bought that base.
Right.
It was Fort McClellan, Alabama. That was the name of the base. It was in Anniston, Alabama. And yes, he just bought that. They closed it. It was the chemical base. That's where he did chemical drain. It had some other training in there too. But yeah, they
Right.
closed it down. They moved the chemical base to Fort Leonard Wood,
Okay.
Kansas. And
So
he recently bought that base.
so whatever you learned from military basic training, you applied it to corrections. So that
I
was like
applied into the
it went hand
corrections
in hand.
department,
Went hand in hand.
so it was smooth. It was
Yeah.
easy.
It was
It was
smooth
easy.
transition.
Then I had a good time losing weight. I had got back down to high school weight.
Wow.
Because at the time I got back down to 190, 195. At the time, going in I probably was like 240, but before that I had ballooned up to like 275. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But yeah, so that going through academy was easy. Now working in the jail, it could have been easy, but people there didn't make it easy. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people made it
Your
hard.
people, the people above you, your superiors.
People, yeah, your superiors, your sergeants, your lieutenants,
Yeah.
and sometimes officers, but for me, it was mostly the brass, which is sergeant, lieutenants. You know what I'm saying? Not so much captains. You don't see them like that. And you definitely don't see the deputy superintendent and all that. But like the sergeants, lieutenants, it was some real dicks, man. Excuse my French. Some real dumb, some real a holes. Then a lot of the officers, like for me, it was like a lot of these guys were like taking out their anger on the inmates, or like it might have been like somebody that, not all of them, but some of them might have been like punks in high school and got picked on.
The
And
whole
then now
bully
you
thing, the whole bully thing from way back on the hill, right? The whole bully
Yeah.
thing.
So now you're an officer, you got
Right.
some power, and you power tripping. And a lot of people was power tripping. And I really wasn't on that. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, listen, I keep it a buck, which I'm not gonna say nobody no names, you know what I'm saying? But I saw a few different people from home locked up. You know what I'm saying? So like for me to be in there acting, you know what I'm saying, any different than the person that I am would be it'd be whack, man. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like
Yeah.
it'd be absolutely whack. Like I literally saw people like that we went to school with locked up.
Locked up.
And they'll,
Yeah.
they'll tell you like, "Yo," I said, "What up? Yo, what's going on?" You know what I'm saying? Ain't disrespect them, ain't try to play them. You know what I mean? Because I could have been there.
Yeah.
I did so much stupid stuff in my childhood. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, I don't know if we got time to get into that type
Yeah.
of stuff, but
Yeah.
I could have been locked up. Long
You could
story
have been
short.
them. Yeah, you could have
I
been
could
them
have
in
been
their
there.
shoes
Why would I treat you? You know what I'm saying? Like
differently.
unless you give me a reason to treat you a certain type of way, I'm not gonna do that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I saw kids that I worked with in care in the at risk youth system. You know what I'm saying? And the nonprofit organizations like Edwin Gould Academy and the spots in Westchester. Like I seen them cats come through there. And them cats was the worst because they was embarrassed, bro. Like they was worse than some of the dudes that I grew up with and saw in there. Because the reason they was worse when they saw me is because they know that my single goal or one of my singular goals was to keep them out of jail. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, that's all I ever taught to them. Like, yo, hone your emotions. Like, trying to do the right thing. Like, don't make poor decisions. Like, don't do this. Don't, because you could wind up here. Then for them to see me in the place that I try to keep them out of, boy, some of them dudes like just hung their heads. That's all they could do is hang their heads.
Yeah.
I
At
would
the
talk
end.
to them. I would talk
Yeah.
them up. You know what I'm saying? Like, listen, because I worked in a medium security. You know what I'm saying? You have minimum, medium, and max. And I worked in the medium. And so most people in the medium, you're not doing more than 7 years. You
Okay.
know. So I know these dudes was going home. So
You
I just
talk
tell them,
them
like,
up and
listen,
be like, listen, when you get out of here, this is what you got to do, X, Y, and Z. You don't come back in here.
exactly,
This is not a place where you want to be.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I watched it, but I watched these officers, man, beat on these dudes, treat them like crap, talk to them any old kind of way. It was whack, man. It was corny.
Couldn't
It
do
was
it.
it was not a good experience.
Right.
And they looked at me like I was the wrong one. Like I was doing
Yeah.
something wrong. Like if
Right.
you didn't get down with it, they treat you like an outsider, bro.
Yeah. If you didn't
You
follow what they were doing or doing what they were doing, they looked at you
yeah,
differently, treat you
you're an
differently.
outsider. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? They call you an inmate lover.
Yeah.
Like nobody really said it to my face because you know what I'm saying.
But
Uh,
behind closed doors, you could tell
yeah,
most
I
of
know
what
they
they
was
said.
talking that time. You know what I mean? I know they was talking that. Then the way the sergeants would act towards me, or like a couple of them, not all of them, couple of them. Like I had to tell one sergeant, like, and that was kind of like one of the straws that broke the camel's back. Cause like, dude, like there was a fight or something in my dorm. No, dudes were smoking in my dorm, and some officers came in. Like they was the rovers, you know, so they would come and do rounds, and they would check and make sure that everything's okay. Because you was locked in the dorm. It was you and 52 inmates. You know what I'm saying? So I could get myself out with the key. You know what I'm saying? But you was there alone. So they would do roving and they would come and just check, make sure everything's okay. They found some dudes smoking, bro. I'm in the bay. You know what I'm saying? In the sleeping area with the inmates. I didn't smell the smoke. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
That's all these dudes do is sneak around and do shit. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
So
Dumb.
like, but the officers like they kind of had something to say, but I was like, yo, don't play with me, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know damn well I can't stop them from smoking. If I would have saw them, I would have stopped it. You know what I'm saying? I
Right.
told them like, nah. You know what I mean? But I didn't know they were smoking. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
So you took the fall for
So
that.
yeah, but it wasn't even a big. It's not a big deal. You know what I'm saying? But they kind of try to make it a big deal. Then when the sergeant got on the phone, he tried to make it a big deal. Then he came down and he was like trying to scream on me, and I just told him straight up, I'm like, yo, listen, fam, you're not gonna talk to me like that. You know what I'm saying? I was like, if you feel like you want to talk to me like that, then we can handle it like men. You know what I'm saying? When we both get off in the morning, meet me in the parking lot. You know what I mean? It's all, what are you talking about? And now he wanna act like he don't know what I'm talking about. So long story short, man, I think I got called down to the lieutenant's office that night. You know what I'm saying? I spoke to the lieutenant. I told the lieutenant straight up, I was like, yo, I'm a man first. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna speak to me like I'm an inmate, like I'm a child. It's just not gonna happen.
Right.
So a lot of the brass didn't like me for that because I stood
Right.
up for myself.
Stood up for
You know
yourself.
what I'm
Right.
saying?
You didn't let them
They
walk
didn't,
all over you. So
yeah, they didn't like me for that. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? So
You've been battling bullies your whole life, man, since the hill. So
bro, listen,
yeah.
I
Yeah.
I was fortunate that I didn't really have to put up with bullying per se myself
Right.
because you know what I'm saying. Like I made sure that yo, listen,
You held your own,
I'm gonna hold
basically.
my own.
Yeah, for
Period.
sure. For sure.
And like I told them, and I tell you that one scenario, like that was the time that it was like before that I never really was put in no situations that much really, but it was always like you know just kind of avoided shit.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like after that, it's like, nah, I'm not gonna have. You gotta think, bro. I'm like, I wasn't a small dude, so like, I really didn't have problems like that. You know what I mean? I was just always a person. I feel like you should stand up for yourself
Yeah.
because if you don't stand up for yourself, man, you know what I'm saying. People gonna try to walk over you, and they will always take your kindness for weakness.
Yeah.
Mostly.
Well said. Mostly. Well said.
You know? That was a horrible experience. It was a good experience and a horrible experience at the same time.
Right.
It was the best thing when I left there. It was the best thing I ever did in life.
You don't miss it for sure.
I
100%.
don't miss it, man. You're doing time with them dudes. Like shout out to everybody that can do it and they make a good career out of it and they get good money and they get retirement because like the overtime is crazy. But they just went through something in the state prison system recently. Like a bunch of dudes got fired because they try to do they try to protest. They try to protest against with the union or something like that. They was doing some protesting and they used to call them lock. You know, you get locked out for a number of different reasons as an officer. But they were basically protesting, and I think they left work and protested. Well, anyway, they got several of them got fired. I do know that a couple of them got hired. I saw on Facebook that a couple of them got hired at the county level. But it was all about contract or something. But through COVID and through now now with all the inmate rights coming in more and more, like it's even harder to be an officer. I'm glad I got out. Like, shout out to the people that's still there. God bless you. Do what you do. I made some pretty decent friendships. I don't really speak to nobody much since I was there, but I don't got bad blood with everybody. Um, it was just bad blood with the situation itself. But it was the best thing that ever could have happened to me was getting out of there.
Very touchy subject coming up here. Keeping it short and simple and sweet for the audience here. Losing your brother to gun violence, that should have never happened that day. The case is still open, right? The judge is blocking the police cam footage. Tell us a little bit about that day, that sad day, how much you miss your brother to this very day.
Man, let me tell you something. I think about my brother every single day, like literally.
Yeah.
Like there's not a day goes by. You know what I'm saying? His urn is in my house. You know what I mean? But even aside from that, I could never look in the corner where that urn is. It doesn't matter whether I look in the corner and see it. That's not what makes me think about him. Like he's just on my mind. Like I don't know. He comes out on my mind like out of nowhere all the time. Like and I never knew how it was. He was the closest person I ever had pass. Closest person to me that I've ever had pass in my life. And I used to wonder how people went through that. And now I know firsthand. You know what I'm saying? Like
what it's like.
you don't really ever get over it. But for me, he has two kids, and I'm here. I'm not trying to replace him. I'm not daddy to them. I'm still uncle. You know what I'm saying? So he has a son and a daughter, and they're as much as my responsibility as my own kids. So my goal is to make sure that they are well off in life. I will always be there for them. Unfortunately, his case is his case. They don't give a damn. You know what I mean? And I tried for a while to reach out to different law firms and stuff on the civil suit level. It's coming up on 3 years this June, so I think that's the statutes of limitations for civil suits is 3 years. So if we don't get something done,
that's it. It's over.
Yeah, because he passed June 22nd, 3 years this June.
Okay.
He actually lived in the hospital. Um, he was actually shot on Memorial Day evening. That Memorial Day, I'll never forget it. I went to the movies with my girl and one of her friends' husbands. They took him out to the movies. They got these theaters now where you can order food and drinks.
Yeah.
And we went to one of those theaters in Charlotte, and we went to go see Maverick, the second Top Gun movie. And that was a big deal because Top Gun had came out however long ago. Then they finally did Maverick.
Right.
To this day, so I got the call while we was watching this movie. While we was watching this movie, and to this day, I've still never finished the movie. I've not gone back and watched the movie. I didn't get a chance to finish the movie because I got the call literally while I was in the movie theater. My brother had been shot. It was a very unfortunate situation. You know, just to keep it like I'll keep it all the way 100. Because people need to hear this. And I remember your interview that you just had with Antonio Tone. We talked about mental health, and we talked about keeping in touch with people and checking in with your people. Mental health is a real thing. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how severely it had got to my brother, but there were some things that were not. You know what I'm saying? He just wasn't himself, and he wasn't because if he could really, I know in hindsight he would look at the situation and not have taken it to where he took it. He got pulled over, but previous to him being pulled over, weeks before that, he had got tased and dragged out of his car and taken down to the station and roughed up. So he had a bad taste in his mouth. And he said that, yo, this will never happen again. Because he felt like he was pretty much complying when they tased him and stuff, and they didn't have to tase him. Uh, he felt like that was unnecessary, but he said to me, he said this will never happen again. Unfortunately, me and him weren't speaking as much as we would normally speak at the when everything went down. But I did. he did say like, yo, there's no way in the world that I will ever let them do that shit to me again. You know what I'm saying? And I know he meant it. I tried to talk to him about like, yo, you got your kids. You know what I'm saying? You gotta understand. But he didn't take the opportunity to look at the bigger picture. You know, it was tunnel vision at that time. You know what I'm saying? In hindsight, I know that he would have done something different. But I fully believe in my heart of hearts that when the officer pulled him over, he was harassing him. You know what I'm saying? Like he wasn't pulling him over for any other reason but to harass him. Like he knew who he was. He had a very distinctive car that he was driving at the time. It was a distinctive car.
Right. Like so you knew who it was right away when you saw that car.
You knew who he was. You knew it, and I think he was harassing him. Yeah. I think that's the only reason he pulled him over. Yeah. And you know, the cases can't get anybody to fight the case. Yeah. Nobody would touch it. You know, they won't touch it. And you know, let's keep it 100. You know, the reason they won't touch it is because he pulled a gun out on the officer. But this was after he got tased. He got tased again.
For the second time in recent weeks.
Yes. Well, in recent months.
So
if you never see, I've never been tased, but I have gone through multiple instances of going through CS gas. And CS gas is just like being tased, it's just like lifting weights, it's just like writing, it's just like doing anything. It's muscle memory. So if you've been tased, once you get tased the first time, your body will remember it. It's never the same again. So it's never the same as the first time.
It's like PTSD. You remember that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, but your body it's not like, so if you get tased for the first time and you're like, oh my God, and you freak out and you like fall to the ground.
Right.
If you get tased the second time, you might be like, oh. You know what I'm saying? Because your body is not a shock to your body anymore.
Right.
Your body's gone through it. Like when I went through the CS gas chamber in the military and then did it again in the police academy, the second time I did it, like I was able to function. Man, when I did that shit in the academy, me and Slim was in the same chamber. We bugged out, bro. I ran out of the chamber.
Yeah, for sure.
I couldn't breathe.
Right.
I couldn't breathe. Well, I could breathe, but the gas and the smoke, it burns, and you can't think, and it tricks your mind that the amount of air that you're getting is restricted because of the particles in the air, but you can breathe. You know what I'm saying? Like you can actually breathe if you're just calm.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like if you're calm, you can actually breathe. It would just burn.
So the second time around, you were fine.
Second time around, I was fine. Like it burned, but I was able to breathe. Like, but it was rough, but I knew I wasn't gonna die.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The first time it happened, like I'm freaking out. I'm like, yo, I got to get out of here. Fight or flight. Yeah. Fight or flight. Like I'm looking for ways. Like I was like, I'm gonna get out of here. Yeah. I saw the door, booked it. Drill sergeant, move. He tackled me at the door out, but I had already pushed the door open. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But so the officer tased him. You know, he shouldn't have got out of the car. He shouldn't have confronted him. This is literally in front of his own house. So the officer had followed him from wherever he was out on the street, followed back to the front of his house. You know, my brother immediately got out of the car, apparently, confronted the officer, like, saying, like, why you fuck with me? Blah, blah, blah. Some point, the officer tases him. The taser doesn't have that effect on him anymore. So he's able to just, and it's one officer, he takes the taser off, he goes to his car and grabs his firearm. So
the guy shot him.
Haven't been able to, and to this day, bro, and I still have to go through that town. Well, my niece just moved out of that town, thank God, because I dreaded driving through that town. But I used to have to drive through that town, and I still will at some point. I know. I don't even know who killed my brother, bro. Like I don't know a name. We don't. The family.
That's
we do
crazy.
not know. We do not know, bro. It's public information, and we have no. We do not know. No idea. They just shut it down. They just shut it down. I have not tried to go to the station or anything like that, but they shut it down. I know there's some wrongdoing. I know that if they run the camera from the time that officer decided to follow him or when he threw his strobes on, whatever he did, I know it was probably an illegal stop. He probably had no reason to stop him, and he was harassing him. I fully believe that in my heart of hearts, you know. But I'm gonna be a realist, and I'm gonna say, and unfortunately, like even with all the violence, the police violence, like listen, these officers are out of control. But people, I don't care if you're black, white, whatever, man. Like, just comply. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that it's people's fault because they're not complying. That's not what I'm saying. But if you can, just comply. Like, you don't even have to be nice. I can't tell you how many times I've been rude to officers because I'm just annoyed.
Yeah.
But I'm complying. I'm giving them what they want, what they need. You know, like right now I have a concealed carry permit in North Carolina, so I can carry a gun wherever I want. I can put the shit under my arm and go hold it like this if I want. You know what I'm saying? It could be anywhere in my car. Does not matter. I have a concealed carry. Just can't bring it on certain premises and stuff like that, which is crazy to me that you can't carry your firearm in state parks. Like, I don't understand how you're gonna go picnic and you could possibly run into a bear, but you technically not supposed to have a firearm in state park. But this is the world we live in.
The more you
know. Just comply. That's my thing with people. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't even suggest being rude. The times I've been rude is minimal, and it was like just giving them attitude. Like, you're annoying me right now. Like, I'm aggravated. I don't know why you pulled me over, or I'm pissed that you pulled me over, or whatever. But if whatever they ask me for, I give it to them.
Just comply.
I hope I never get in a situation where I get treated wrongly, because I know that if it happens to me, I know that I'm all the way being like it's wrong, because I know that I don't put myself in that situation. You know what I'm saying? So it's tough. It's tough every day.
If he was alive today, what would you tell him?
I would tell him that he's more loved than he ever thought that he was. You know what I'm saying? When you grow up in a certain environment, you kind of put a cloak on and you put a shield up, and you don't allow yourself to be loved as much as you are really loved sometimes. And he was one of those people. Like, he always he's a nice dude, man. Give the shirt off his back. But like, he always had a wall up. You know what I'm saying? So for him, I would just tell him, man, I love you more than you probably ever even know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But that's good advice, man. Comply, especially people that look like us, and you know, every race, every human being, just
everybody.
Comply.
You know, it's different with us. You know what I'm saying? And I'll say it again, man. I don't want nobody to hear this and think that I'm condoning police violence, because I'm not. You know what I'm saying? But it can be avoided a lot of times.
Yeah, for sure. Comply. Before we get you out of here, some rapid fire questions, okay? You ready?
Oh, shoot.
Who was your favorite rapper, man, of all time?
Man, it's got to be Jadakiss, man.
Jadakiss.
Kiss is still spitting.
Kiss is nice, man.
It's amazing what these rappers are doing right now, man.
We can't even, man.
Just being old, you know what I'm saying? These dudes are older than us.
Yeah.
Like, Kiss is older than us. Kiss is like 2-3 years older than us.
Yeah.
And Styles P, the whole Lox.
The whole Lox, yeah.
That's my favorite rap group of all time. It's got to be the Lox.
The Lox, yeah. The Lox were up there for sure. Tupac or Biggie? Who you got?
It used to be Big, but been leaning towards Pac these days, because as an older adult, I listen to some of Big's lyrics and I'll be like, ugh.
The things he said, right? You break it down, right?
Yeah.
It was cool back then, but when you break it down now, you're like,
And I don't even know why it was cool back then, because like, it's cringeworthy now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, girl, you look so good, I suck on your dad. Like, I don't even know why that was ever cool to us, bro. We was violent too.
Yeah, he was violent for sure.
So LeBron, I'm gonna have to go with Pop on that note.
LeBron or MJ? Who you got?
MJ. No disrespect to LeBron. I love LeBron. I hate the GOAT debates. There's some people that really just hate Bron, yo. They go so hard, bro.
They go hard. I know. Yeah.
But yeah, MJ. And I say that saying I was a Dominique Wilkins fan. Anybody that really, really knows me,
Neek was nice,
they know that I was a Dominique fan. It was hard for me to root for the Knicks because I love the Knicks. Being a New Yorker, and I'm all New York sports team.
Right.
I love the Knicks. I rooted for the Knicks, but it was hard for me to root for them during the time growing up because Dominique was in the East with them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but Jordan over LeBron all day.
If you had one wish, what would it be?
Man, it might be cliche, but I would just say peace and harmony throughout the world, man. Such a hateful place, bro.
Yeah.
Such a hateful place.
Yeah.
You know, I wish I wouldn't even have came up in an environment and in a situation where I felt like I had to be tough. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like so many fights that I had, you know what I'm saying? Like gang behavior, you know, like just it's because of the world, man. The world puts us in this situation, bro. Living in the hood, like you think you have to hustle to make money. No, what you really do is just be a kid, get good grades, try to figure out your path in life. Then as you get older, you get your own.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
For
But
sure.
the world just makes you feel like you got to do something different. And then social media, I feel for these kids, man. They got it worse than us. You know, we just had rap videos. We had MTV Raps, and Rap City. You know what I'm saying? Where we see dudes with the girls, the cars, the jewelry. Social media now, they don't get a break, bro. These young youth.
It's crazy.
They don't get a break.
Man, speaking of that, Puff, your thoughts on Puff? What happens to him?
Listen, man, I don't know if it's all true. I'm going to tell you this. From a personal perspective, I've always felt funny about Puff, just about the way he looked, the way he acted, the way he talked. There's a difference between being cocky and just being ignorant with it and flagrant. And I felt like Puff told that line a lot. He told that line between being like ignorantly cocky, you know what I'm saying? And almost like disrespectful and like, bro, you put your pants on the same way we all put our pants on. You know what I'm saying? I don't wish for the dude's downfall, but I always looked at Puff like a certain way, like a little like how this dude moving. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like the whole, like the way he was acting in the show on MTV,
making the band.
Making the band and all that. And then the whole at Farnsworth Bentley, how he had this dude was like
umbrella.
It was corny. Like I never really felt Puff like that. Like I don't pray for his downfall, but then you know that shit he did to Cassie.
Yeah, that was terrible, man.
Yeah, like you can't come, ain't no coming back from that, bro. And then I don't know all these other allegations. I will say this. I do think some of it is a witch hunt. You kind of brought it on yourself in your darkness. You know what I'm saying? Your darkness, you know, with that way you treated that young lady. Like the stories, like I don't know if you really read like the statements in the lawsuit. Horrible, man.
Yeah.
Horrible. Had the girl selling her body, not even selling her body. You making her give her body up to men.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, so I don't know if all the allegations. I don't even know all the allegations.
Right.
Sad. And then you got kids involved. His kids.
Yeah.
You know they lost their dad.
It's crazy, man. It really is.
Yeah,
man.
man.
He's gonna go away for a long time, I believe.
I'm not sure exactly how it's going to pan out, but
yeah, you reap what you sow, right? So we'll see. To be determined.
Facts.
How many pairs of Tims you had back in the day? How many pairs of kicks you had or Tims you had back in the day?
I can tell you not a lot back in the day. I was broke, B. Single mom household, bro.
Man, really?
I used to go. Listen, I had stuff. You know what I'm saying? Listen, my mom she provided a very good life. You know what I'm saying? Through the circumstances, she worked hard, and I can't take anything away from her. But the bottom line is, she couldn't get us everything we wanted. You know what I mean? When it was school time, like it was one pair of sneakers, bro. Like not no 2, 3. I know some people got like 2, 3 pair of sneakers. You know what I'm saying? New sneakers for school. No, it was one new pair of sneakers. Listen, you know what my sneakers was for basketball season?
Yeah, what you had?
My senior year, they was the same sneakers I wore to the first day of school.
Really?
Yep. They were a pair of Nikes. I don't even know the hell it wasn't even no special Nikes. It wasn't even like they was like some Kevin Garnett's or some Kobe's or Kobe wasn't with Nike
or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't no name, like no, yeah, it wasn't no like player behind it. Like it wasn't the Barclays. It was like a pair of Nikes. They had air bubble. I don't even know what the hell they was, but it was I got them for the first day of school. You know, my new sneakers for school, warm through the winter, you know, through the fall football season. You know, basketball season came. I needed some basketball sneakers. I wore them. Wow. That was my basketball sneakers. Now, in between that time, I know I got another pair of sneakers or something, but right. I didn't get no brand new sneakers for basketball season. I wore the sneakers I wore the beginning of the year. Wow. I wore them just all the way through the year.
All the way through the year.
All the way through.
What was your first job? A lot of cats used to work during high school, right? A lot of guys used to
work. Yeah, man. And
did you work? Did you get a job in high school or anything?
I did. At the end of senior year, I got a job for a little while at Ruby Tuesday.
Okay.
I'm so grateful that I didn't work throughout my. Listen, you're gonna work the whole rest of your life. Whether you're an entrepreneur, you're working for yourself, which is a much better situation than working a 9 to 5. But you're gonna work for the rest of your life, bro. So enjoy being a kid. Like I tell my daughter now, I'm like, baby girl, if you need an allowance, more money, you know what I'm saying, I'll give it to you. But I don't want you to work. You know what I'm saying? Like enjoy your life. You might be working for the rest of your life. You know what I'm saying? Like why work now? You know, high school. Enjoy that shit. So I didn't really work. I just like towards the end of senior year, I worked for a little bit, and then like I quit that like 3 or 4 weeks before I went to basic training. Because I was like, yo, I'm not gonna work up until the day I leave basic training. After this, I'm gonna enjoy life. I'm gonna enjoy the little bit of the summer. Because I left July 22nd.
July 22nd.
So pretty much a month after graduation. Less than a month, probably.
Favorite security guard, Ed or Ruben?
That's tough, man.
They both were cool dudes, right?
They're both cool. I can't. I can't because they well, all right. I'm gonna say Ed only because I was so cool with Darrell. And I don't know if you know this, but Ed is literally Darrell's uncle.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if it's by marriage or what.
Right.
Nah, I don't think it's marriage. I think Ed and Darrell's mom. I think his mom, maybe. I think one of his parents is Ed's sibling. Yeah, I think it's real. But they related. That's his uncle.
Okay.
So I always had a connection with a different connection with Ed because I played ball with Darrell at such a young age. So I knew Ed since then. I didn't know Ruben since, you know what I'm saying, being younger.
Okay.
I would say Ed for that reason.
Ed. I'd probably go Ruben. I kind of talked to Ruben and bumped into Ruben over the years. And
Ruben just retired, man.
I saw that. Yeah, I just seen that. He just retired. Yeah. So I would have to lean Ruben just because I talked to him more. But I think I didn't really talk to Ed that much. It was just like a high and by kind of thing. But they were both cool dudes, man. Both great at what they do. So, you know,
absolutely.
Split it down the middle, 50-50. Who was your barber in Rockland? Who was your go-to guy?
As an older young adult, it was D.
Damien. Okay, shout out to D. Damien Spencer. Yeah, D cuts. Yeah, D was great, man. D's great.
Yeah, man. D.
Yeah.
D was that dude, man. So was rocking with D since
the basement, 7th grade, right?
Yes, the basement at his crib.
Basement at his crib, yeah.
That's the fact. Since the basement at his crib.
A lot of us came up that way.
Yeah, man. But then I had I can't forget some of my barbers from up top. Bart, you know what I'm saying? Bart is a legendary barber in the valley.
Shout out to Bart, man, for sure, 100%.
Anybody that knows shops and cutting, like Bart is legendary. I remember Bart used to do house visits on the hill, B.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then Max Barbershop, that's where D got his actual barbershop start. Like working in a shop was working in Mac's shop.
Yeah, Mr. Mac, right? Mr. Mac, shout out
to Mr. Mac. Him and Skinner.
Him and Skinner, man, Mac and Skinner, damn, a long time. Shout out to Mr. Mac.
Man.
Sure.
Take it back.
Yeah, taking it back, man. These local teams, man, Giants, Knicks, Yankees. I'm a big Yankee fan. Giants, not so much. Knicks, not so much. I kind of look from afar when it comes to those two teams, Giants and Knicks. But the Yankees, man, we can't win a damn championship in this town. Yankees since 2009.
Well,
when is it going to end, this drought, man?
Well, first of all, the Yankees have been injury laden.
Yeah, every day something.
Every year they catch it bad with injuries. You know what I'm saying?
Hitters, it's just can't be.
It's one or the other. Like somebody's going down. So I don't know, man. I mean, listen, let's not act like when we was coming up, the Bronx Bombers wasn't trash.
Yeah,
they was booty in the 90s, bro.
The 90s,
early 90s, they were horrible.
Yeah,
like I used to be like, I don't even know why I turned this game on.
They were terrible. And we won like 5 straight. We all got spoiled, and now it's like you don't win anything after that. So
then the 2000s came. What was it when we won that first set? It wasn't
96. 96, yeah, 96 was the first one we won.
We won one in 96.
96, yeah.
But then it was before that we was trash. So we're talking about like late 80s, mid 80s.
Yeah, we were trash.
Early 90s.
Trash.
Yeah, it was for a while though. It was like a 10-year stretch. Them and the Giants. Yeah. It was like a 10-year stretch. Like I remember in high school watching the time, I'm like, oh my God, we suck. Matter of fact, we didn't start getting good until the late 90s, get a good again from the runs we had in the mid-late 80s with Lawrence Taylor and all them. The Bill Parcells coach teams. We won them 2 Super Bowls. That's what made me a Giants fan. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Watching them 2 Super Bowls, especially the second one, Otis Anderson, you know what I'm saying? Old head, he was getting the MVP in the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? But then after that, bro, it was bad. Yeah, when we went through all them coaches, all them non-existent quarterbacks. Like the worst of them I can remember is Kent Graham. Oh, bro, we were horrible. Like them teams that Jason Sehorn was on. Yeah. Some bad football teams, bro.
What do you think about Eli? Hall of Famer? He'll get in eventually?
Oh, he'll get in eventually. Okay. His record and his interceptions to touchdown ratio is what shot him in the foot.
It doesn't really scare you that much. Yeah, it's very close, very similar. Like
he'll get in the Hall of Fame. You can't not put somebody in the Hall of Fame that got 2 Super Bowl MVPs
in New York too, right? In New York.
Yeah. So you can't. And then he showed up, and his playoff record, he's gonna get in the Hall of Fame. It's just that his regular season record, I think, is 500.
Yeah.
Literally 500.
Once he got in the playoffs, it was lights out. He was lights out. That defense.
Oh man, amazing. Yeah. Like if I had a dog, I was gonna name him Eli.
Wow.
Dead ass.
Giants, not too many people talk about them now. Are they going to get back to being good? How much time do you giving them? 5 years, 10 years from now? They'll be relevant again?
Honestly, I don't know because I don't know how long. I don't know if this regime is going to make it.
Okay. So yeah, they're on their last leg. They're on their last leg for sure.
Yeah, they're on their last leg. We don't know what they're doing in the draft. I mean, damn. If they would have brought in one of the 2 quarterbacks, then I would have been like, all right, they'll probably get Shador if he's available. But the fact that they got listen, bro, I'm just not a fan of Russell Wilson lately. Russell Wilson passed, I'm a fan of
Seattle, right? Yeah.
Yes, Russell Wilson lately.
Yeah.
He's suspect.
Yeah.
Jameis Winston, I love him. I love his attitude.
He's hilarious.
Oh man, he's hilarious. He's good for the locker room. Good locker room guy.
Right. Yeah.
But my man's a turnover machine. What? Yeah. He can actually sling that thing.
He can sling it. He'll give you 30 touchdowns and 30 picks. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like, I will say this: this year, regardless of anything, we're gonna have a better year than we had last year. We ain't gonna be in the third pick.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I like some stuff that we've done. This is a big draft.
Yeah.
So if we're forced to see, I don't even know right now if I would rather Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter. Well, Shedeur, I want Shedeur, but you cannot take Shedeur over Travis Hunter. If Travis Hunter and Shedeur are sitting there, you cannot pass up Travis Hunter. You just can't.
You can play offense and defense, Heisman winner. Yeah.
You can't.
Yeah.
Super athlete.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You already got a dominant wide receiver one. You pair him up with that wide receiver. You know what I'm saying? You putting pressure on the defenses.
Right.
You can't pass them up. And the fact that they got two veteran quarterbacks, I don't think we pick a Shedeur. I heard earlier today on the sports show that we probably gonna try to get Milroe in the second round. Milroe stock drop. He has a lot to be desired, but he'll come into a situation where he's not even thinking about being a starter. He could just work on his craft. He's a super athlete. This dude ran like a 4.3 at the combine.
Wow.
And he's like 6'3" or something like that.
Might be coachable too. Sit and learn, watch the guys.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think man, it's hard to say. I know we'll be better than last year. We won't have the third pick next year. I do know that.
Who's your favorite Giant of all time?
Lawrence Taylor, bro.
Okay.
LT. Hands down. Favorite running back of all time for the Giants?
Yeah.
Probably Rodney Hampton.
Okay.
I wanted to be that dude.
Rodney was nice. Otis Anderson, nice. He was nice.
Yeah, so underrated. And Joe Morris, I got to see Joe Morris at the ending years. Most of his stuff I saw was highlights that I saw.
Tiki was sneaky good though. Tiki was sneaky good.
No, Tiki was good. Tiki's the only one of only maybe, I don't even know. He's only one of maybe a couple of running backs that have 5,000 rushing yards and 5,000 receiving yards.
Yeah, he was really good.
Yeah.
Really good.
Tiki put on for us, man. Unfortunately, he didn't get a championship.
Right.
And his personality was for shit. Towards the end.
Yeah. Favorite Nick of all time. Favorite Nick player of all time.
Oh man. Ooh. I'm trying not to take the easy way out. But I'm gonna have to say Pat.
That's okay.
That's the easy way out. Pat Ewing.
Yeah. Thoughts on Melo getting into the Hall of Fame?
He deserves it. Unfortunately, he didn't get a chip. You know, he did get one in college. I was disappointed in Melo. Like, I love Melo's game. I was just disappointed that, and he spoke on this a little bit, but I was disappointed that Melo didn't become a better setup standstill jump shooter.
Okay.
He just said it. He said he was never comfortable not having the ball in his hand and being able to get into his jab step, get into his moves, get into his rhythm to make shots. He said that on his podcast.
Wow.
Yeah. He wasn't speaking to the subject that we're speaking on. He was speaking to something else. But then I realized, I was like, that's why because later in his career, he should have been a good, like Ray Allen. You know what I'm saying? Like, he should have been a good, set up jump shot. Like, yo, you can't leave him open. Sharpshooter type did. Yeah. But he never materialized into that. That would have extended his career, and he probably would have got a championship somewhere.
Yeah, for sure. Or coming off the bench, being a sixth man, right? Towards the end of his career, too.
I like Melo when he was in New York. You know what I'm saying?
It's pretty solid. Denver, pretty solid. What do you think about Cayenne? How Cayenne's going to fare in Syracuse, his son?
I haven't really watched him a lot. I've seen some highlights. You know what I'm saying? I hope he takes the fact that he was not picked for the McDonald's All-American game.
I saw that.
Yeah, I hope he takes that and infuses fire.
Yeah.
I wish him all the best, man. I want to see that.
Sure.
Great. Like Bronny. Like, I want to see Bronny do great.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
For sure. 100%, man. Knicks win a title in our lifetime. Haven't won a title since the 70s, right? So
let me say, I'm happy that the Knicks are a competitor. I don't even know who won the game. I'm happy that I'm happy. Yeah, I'm happy that they're viable. Like, they're a good team. I hate the fact that we had to let DiVincenzo go. And I hate the fact that the collective bargaining agreement. I don't know if you noticed, but you're not a Knicks fan, so you probably don't care anyway. But the collective bargaining agreement stopped us from being able to even offer Hartenstein more money than what he was getting offered with OKC.
Wow.
We couldn't even bid.
You couldn't even get him
There
more.
was
So
something in the
got
collective bargaining agreement. He had to go. Like we could not even
try to keep him.
Try to beat him. Yep.
Wow.
It was great. I forget what it was, but it was some. That's the only reason I think we let him go. But that set us back. I think we'll win one eventually in our lifetime. We're getting very close now. I hope they can bring DiVincenzo back somehow.
Right? Yeah,
I hope they can get him back somehow.
Yeah.
I want us to get KD. I don't know how you do
for the summer. Yeah, KD or Booker. Booker
talks the contract. It's going to take a trade. We don't got to take a trade. One thing we can do is give up some draft picks, but we can't trade away something significant. You know what I'm saying? Right. I don't want to trade away anything significant to get him. Cat has been a welcome. Like I think some people say he's soft, but I think he's way tougher than people give him credit for. Right. They don't like that he takes so many jumps, so many threes. But he drives to the basket from the top of the key at 6'11", 7 foot, whatever he is.
Right.
He's 7 foot. Like
monster.
He's a good player, man.
No, he is.
He's gonna go down as one of the greats. Great Knicks.
No doubt. Favorite Yankee of all time? Who's your favorite Yankee player?
I don't know. It's something about the Mags, man. Don Mattingly.
Yeah. It's funny because he retired in 95 and then they won in 96. I'm like, Don, you should have stayed one more year, man.
Yeah. It was something about the Mags, that mustache. I used to like watching him hit, man. You know what I'm saying?
Baseball, man.
Yeah, Don Mattingly. That's probably my favorite player.
Yeah. 10 years from now, what will Jerome be doing 10 years from now?
Shoot, 10 years from now, I hope I'm just making a bunch of what do they call it? Passive streams of income. You know what I'm saying? I just want to be. I don't want to be working hard. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I put myself in a position where I'm not working very hard right now, but I it's circumstantial. I want to put myself in a position to where I'm not working very hard because the situation that I've set up with businesses and stuff. Right. That's the goal, man. 10 years from now, I don't want to be working very hard. I just want to be enjoying life, traveling, having different streams of income, passive income, just making money where I don't really got to be doing nothing. That's the goal.
Yeah. That's the goal.
Live life, man. We only get one of these things. So
that's it, man.
That we know of. So I'm just trying to enjoy it.
Hey, man, this was a lot of fun, man. I want to thank you for accepting my invite to coming on here. Your story, your journey, remarkable. I thought it was interesting, and I had to tell it. You always chime in on Facebook with certain things I post and the comments you make. Very, very good, man. A lot of opinions.
I laughed when you said the very opinionated. I said, "Yeah, I do."
Yeah.
Yes, I do need to throw my opinion out there. I'll be having to pull myself out of so many arguments on IG.
Yeah, it gets crazy, man.
I'll be chiming in, you know what I'm saying? Because I'll be like, feeling like people be like,
they miss the point sometimes, right?
Sometimes.
Real quick, touch on Stephen A. and LeBron saga. You have something to say about Stephen A. and LeBron saga, right? Who was wrong? Who was right? What do you think about that, real quick?
Listen. At the end of the day, like Stephen A. has to understand, man, like there's a certain way to go about things. And I think the biggest thing with LeBron was like he was playing on his name as a dad. And it's not even so much like, like Bronny is subject to scrutiny. You know what I'm saying? He's in a position where he's subject to scrutiny. But don't like play on my name as a dad. If you go back and play back what Stephen A. did was he was like calling LeBron a bad dad. He was like, you put your son in this situation. You said that he's better than NBA players right now. A lot of NBA players right now. You knew damn well he don't belong in the NBA right now. Why are you forcing it on? Like that's the tone.
That's what it felt. Yeah.
That's what he was saying. So like bro, like, and then Stephen A. is mad animated, and so when he was doing, he was kind of trying to play him. So that's the biggest part of what people. I don't think people realize because LeBron didn't come out and flat out say it, but that's what pissed him off. I'm sure is the fact that like not only are you saying this, but then you trying to clown me. You know what I'm saying? And call me a bad dad. You know what I'm saying? And like, come on, this kid just had a heart attack. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like give the dude some grace. You know, like, and he go.
I would love to see him stay maybe one more year in SC and come back out, maybe play a full season in SC.
Yeah, I would have too. It was too risky though, having his heart situation.
Probably true. Yeah.
And then like college basketball is not even what it used to be, right?
Right.
With the transfer portal and all that. This joint is that shit is pro now. It's mini pro in college. It's mini pro right now. Yo, real quick before so October 26th.
Okay.
This coming October 26th, I think.
Okay.
It will be Ramapo's Sports Hall of Fame.
Okay.
At the Paramount in New City. That's all I know is the day. Yeah, the date is I think it's October 26th. But it's at the Paramount in New City. Ramapo Sports Hall of Fame, and that '97 team is going in. Along with shout out that I know for sure is going in is Larry Lindsey. Shout out to him and his family, the Lindsey family. That's gonna be big, man. I can't wait to see him going as an individual, and John Thomason will actually also go in as an individual in the '97 team, man.
You'll be there. You'll be there.
I'll be there for sure.
Inbox me. Let me know, man. Give me an invite or something. Give me a ticket or something. I don't know.
Absolutely. Once we know the ticket situation, we put you on for sure.
Yeah, for sure, man. Any shout outs? Anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Oh man, shit. Anybody I forgot, man, through this story, through this journey. I mean, we didn't get into a whole lot of it, man. Rest in peace to all the brothers out there that didn't make it to this day, man. And, could have very well been any of us at any time. So always pay respects, you know what I'm saying, to those that are not here with us, man, and just live life to the fullest, man.
That's it, man.
That's it, my brother.
Hey, thank you for coming on and sharing your journey and your story, man. I appreciate you and your time you gave to us today.
It was fun, man. I enjoyed it, and I'll be watching you, man. I'm gonna continue to watch you, man. I love what you're doing, man. Keep pushing.
Thanks, man. He's Jerome Gales, Kemford Abrams Sports Talk Show. We are out. That was good, bro.